Whoa, guys, look at that! Raven! Oh my God!
Be the spookiest, the creepiest, or the most unbelievable things. Cameras become the ultimate asset when people refuse to believe you. From a no-head camel and a troll in a cave to strange creatures in the yard and werewolves. We have for you a camera captures what no one was supposed to see. Dobby. We don't know if you'll find it funny or you will find it creepy, but for the family whose CCTV caught this creature, they thought it was their son, doing some kind of Hollywood prank on them. In the video, you can see a thin-legged creature with a head which resembles Dobby from the Harry Potter series. But was it really their son? If you ask me, it does not look like it. You know why? Because they even asked the poor little guy to do it with an underwear on his head, and the comparison of both videos showed that it wasn't. Before moving any further, like this video, subscribe to our channel, and hit the bell icon so you can keep watching our amazing content. Goat with one eye. Also known as Cyclopia, this one-eyed goat was born in a village in India. It has a big bulging eye in the middle of its forehead. Most goats with this kind of disorder die very young, but one of them lived for much longer than anyone had anticipated, and thus started to get international attention. When this little guy was born, it was said that he wouldn't live longer than a week, but well stronger than it looked, the goat survived more than a few weeks, hence gaining lots of attraction to itself. And the farmer in whose home it was born said he solely believes that the goat will bring him luck. Albino deer. A hunter in Tennessee was lucky enough to come across an unprecedented sight, an albino deer. Albino animals are quite rare in nature, and it's illegal to hunt or kill them. Thankfully, the hunter decided to only shoot the deer with his camera and share the remarkable footage online. The unique and natural white coat of the deer caught the attention of not only his fellow hunters, but also the locals, sparking curiosity and wonder. It's not every day that you get to witness such a beautiful and rare sight in the wild. A huge creature. In February of 2011, a family went out for some target practice in a field. The father set up some cans and bottles as targets, showing his son how to aim the rifle. However, things got strange when the father noticed a figure running in the top right of the screen. In the last frames of the video, the figure is seen crouching on all fours on some rocks. Some viewers have speculated that it could be a Sasquatch or a Dogman, while others believe it could be something else entirely. What do you guys think? A death march. It was an ordinary day for the commuters in Boston until something bizarre caught their attention. In the middle of a busy road, a group of turkeys were circling around a dead cat. The strange sight was captured on video, and it left many people puzzled. Why were the turkeys behaving this way? Was it some kind of ritual, a warning? Some people believe that animals have a heightened sense of the supernatural and can see things that humans cannot. Could this be one of those instances? The mystery remains unsolved. A survival battle. Get ready for the ultimate scavenger showdown. In a remote area of Montana, a bald eagle and a coyote are caught on camera going head-to-head over a deer carcass. Despite the coyote's size advantage, the bald eagle's massive wingspan gives it an edge. The intense battle between these two skilled predators is like a game of chess, with each one trying to outsmart the other. In the end, the coyote snatches the juiciest piece of meat and makes a run for it, leaving the bald eagle to enjoy the rest of its hard-earned meal. A peace-loving animal. A bunch of tourists were out in the woods minding their own business when they stumbled upon a massive orangutan. Now let's face it, most of us would freak out at the sight of a wild ape, but this one was a real chill dude. It just sat there taking in the scenery before giving some major side-eye to the group. Then, like a true model, it picked out one lucky tourist and followed them around for a bit, striking a pose like it was on the cover of National Geographic. Who knew orangutans had such an eye for fashion? Ninja rats. This trail cam entry stars these ninja rats. They're small rodents that can be found in the desert, hopping around like kangaroos. But don't underestimate them just because of their size. When they're out searching for food, snakes might come after them, thinking they're an easy meal. But these ninja rats are ready to fight back. With their big legs and lightning-fast reflexes, they can easily kick a snake out of the way. So snakes better watch out because these little guys are not to be messed with. An unusual relationship. Check out this unexpected duo strolling together in the woods. A lion and a deer. Can you believe it? This trail cam footage is a rare and heartwarming sight, as lions are known to be the kings of the jungle and the ultimate predator. But here we see a deer following a lion without any fear, as if they're longtime pals or something. Who knows what really goes on in the animal kingdom? But one thing's for sure, this video is sure to make your day a little brighter and bring a smile to your face. A bouncing manhole. What are your first thoughts when you see the video? Is it a ghost, a scary clown, or an air bubble? To me, it looked like something out of a scary movie. You try going near and someone will pull you inside. But according to the man who recorded it, an air bubble is likely to blame, because manholes can sometimes make noise or move around when sometimes the water is pushed around and the air moves. A weird creature washed ashore. The remains of a mysterious creature have been found washed up on a beach at the Wolf Island National Wildlife Refuge in southeast Georgia. The discovery has sparked curiosity and speculation among the local community, with many people wondering what the creature could be. Despite initial efforts to identify the creature, its origin and species remain unknown. Some speculate that it could be an undiscovered species or an unusual variation of a known animal, while others believe that it could be the result of some kind of genetic mutation or hybridization. Regardless of the cause, the discovery of this strange creature has raised many questions, and it is unclear if we'll ever get a clear answer. A human-faced goat. The video features a goat with a unique appearance. It has a face that closely resembles that of a human. This goat was born in India and has caused a sensation in the local community due to its unusual appearance. People are curious to learn more about the goat and its origins, and many are speculating on what could have caused its unusual appearance. Some believe it could be the result of genetic mutations, while others think it could be due to a rare genetic condition. What do you guys think about it? A werewolf. The werewolf is a mythical creature that is part of folklore and popular culture, but it is not recognized as a real species by the scientific community. But after watching this video, even the scientists were shocked. This werewolf-like creature was found in Pakistan and appeared to be quite alive when being filmed. The source of the video remained unknown, thus it couldn't be confirmed if it's real or fake. You guys let us know if there's any info we are missing here. A dead dragon. Reports of a dead dragon found in Mexico in 2020 have circulated online. However, the validity of these claims is uncertain. In fact, not just reports, there's this video on the internet as evidence too. While it is possible that reports could be a hoax or misinformation, it is also possible that there may be some truth to the claims. However, without further investigation and evidence, it is difficult to determine the accuracy of the clip and all the rumors. For now, it is all a mystery. A squealing creature. A group of friends were out in the woods, planning for some fireworks and enjoying the night out there. But what they did not know was that there was someone waiting for them. When one of them set off a firework, it created a screeching noise. And that is when the creature lurking around got disturbed and decided to go check on what was happening. At first, the guys heard its voice, like it was warning them. And then they followed the voice and came very near to the creature. It did not like them and had to literally chase the humans out of its area. So, well, what do we learn from this entry? That we should not go towards danger. You need to run away from it! A strange man. A man was inspecting an ancient building when he suddenly encountered a strange and unsettling sight. He saw a tall, transparent figure who first gazed at him before disappearing into the wall. The experience was recorded in a creepy video that has garnered attention for its eerie and unusual nature. It remains unclear what the figure was or what it wanted, but the video serves as a chilling reminder of the unknown and the unexplained. A floating girl. A Russian man was filming his dog while they were exploring the woods. Suddenly, the dog ran away to one side, and the man followed to see where the dog had gone. To his shock and surprise, he encountered a strange and frightening scene. A little girl was floating in the air while a woman who appeared to be her mother was standing nearby looking up at her. The man was frightened by the strange sight. As soon as they noticed the man, the girl came down to the ground, and both the girl and the woman quickly ran away. The man was left stunned and bewildered, unsure of what he had just witnessed and what it all meant. Gladly, the incident was recorded and has since been the subject of much speculation and intrigue.
Alien Stalker. First a skeleton stalking, now an alien? This just keeps getting better and better. While being out in the wilderness, this man was singing and practicing his vocals while recording when a dark figure appeared. It looked to have a human-like figure with a shade of dark gray standing not too far from the recorder, who actually believes that his vocal sound may have gotten the attention of this alien. It looked to be in search of the source of the sound, which, when he stopped, got the alien confused, although it didn't stop it from looking around. While many believe that the alien was following him, some say it wanted the deer that happened to be crossing patch with both of them at the same time. Skeleton with shiny eyes. This truly is like a scene from a horror movie that actually came to fruition. A farmer in India, upon repeatedly hearing spooky sounds coming from a nearby hilly area covered with a dense forest, decided to investigate. Having only a flashlight and a cell phone camera, the farmer started to look around while moving towards the source of the sound. As he was getting closer, while looking around with his flashlight, the farmer noticed this huge skeleton monster that was waiting on the top of the tree. Judging from the stance to its wide open mouth, you can know that this ghostly being would have descended upon the farmer from the treetops if he had not spotted it with his flashlight in time. Screaming Skinwalker. Maybe this scary being wasn't able to see too well in the dark and kept hurting itself in the process. A curious explorer, after hearing numerous instances of a terrifying screaming sound coming out of his friend's place, decided to check it out. While recording the video and explaining about the area, the assumedly Skinwalker randomly screams,
Did you hear that?
instantly scaring him away. With a state park nearby and the place separated by only a fence, that spot could perfectly house a dark-dwelling entity such as this at night. With the area being dense due to the presence of trees, no matter how powerful the light is, it wouldn't be enough to spot this creature. Bigfoot House. To date, there hasn't been even a single rumor of a Bigfoot attack, but this might very well change if people start approaching its residence uninvited. A curious tracker, after hearing multiple sightings of a Bigfoot, decided to track it down using a series of trail cameras around Crescent Falls in Canada. After numerous failed attempts, he finally managed to find a secluded area surrounded by dense forest, where the tracker believes to be the house of a Bigfoot. The house was constructed using huge logs that were tied together, measuring up to 5 meters in length and standing 7 meters from the ground. In it, he found the rotting remains of numerous herbivores, while the area around was empty. Giant humanoid. The fact that size defines whether you're a prey or a predator in the animal kingdom, this giant humanoid could certainly have followed the same ethos. The uploader of this video was out celebrating a holiday at a ski resort in the outskirts of Colorado, and noticed a giant humanoid that was hiding behind the edge of a tall tree line. It was staring out at a large group of people while being relatively stationary. The author of the video added that it was vaguely human-shaped and stood to be 8 to 10 feet tall. The idea of it attacking people that were celebrating terrified him. But since entities are far more intelligent, they have eluded capture. Unusually scary snake. As if the average python or a venomous snake wasn't scary enough, a team of treasure hunters were exploring an ancient cave in North Dakota, where they stumbled upon a massive yet terrifying discovery. An unusually huge and scary-looking snake, or a cave worm, appeared out of nowhere, squirming its way out of a crevice. Instead of screaming or getting panicked, they remained extremely calm as this ancient being was slithering its way closer to them. Unlike any other snake, it was reported to be much faster, as it was using its tiny feet as well to move. Many believe that this was a beast and that it was guarding some cursed, ancient treasure. Tree cryptid. You may believe seeing something like this to be a hoax until you get a closer look at it. A woman was spending time with her young son in her cabin when she sighted a long limb stretching outwards from behind a tree as the dog started barking at it. With the cabin being next to a forest on the outskirts of Rio de Janeiro, she sensed danger and asked her husband to investigate. Upon getting a closer view, it looked to be like the mythical cryptid called the Pombero. This infamous being is best described as a small, hairy, human-like creature that lurks in woods and steals small animals, birds, and even humans. Masked figure. Okay, I'm not here to misguide you with this one, as it does look like a person. But isn't that creepy too? A trail cam capturing a man coming out of the woods in the middle of the night, and that too with a weird mask on his face, which at some angles does not feel like a mask, as it fits so well on the creeper's face. Advancing slowly and limping slightly, the freak walks towards the camera, and just when the camera would capture its whole figure, it disappears from the lens, which could be proof of the video being distorted. Or it could actually be a real weirdo living in the dark forest. Monster shrieks. Standing in the middle of the forest in California, where this man thought he would encounter wild animals, he was surprised by some other thing, and definitely a scarier one. Standing at a high spot, he started hearing loud shrieks coming from a little far. Rotating his camera all over the forest, he failed to spot any animal or creature behind the weird noise. Then, who was it? And this time, not the loud shrieks, but a man's camera caught a Sasquatch-like creature strolling in the woods. Not detecting the camera, the creature could be seen passing right in front of it, probably going to look for another meal. Massive croc. Famous as the man-eating croc, this croc has been in the headlines for quite some time now, as it had killed 2 people in the African village near a national park. Not ready to lose more lives, the villagers decided to tie the deadly croc and send it over to the wildlife center. But they were surprised with the massive size of it, as it was a full 2-meter-long crocodile. Furious with the villagers tying it up, see how the beast fights with the strings, trying to free itself. But luckily, the wildlife workers arrived in time and took the killing croc to a better place, where it will stay away from innocent people. Stuck in tree. These people, while taking a stroll in the woods, were shocked to see the miserable scene, as they spotted a fully grown moose strangely stuck between the 2 trees. Ascending quickly, thinking that there might be a chance to save the poor elk, they were disappointed to see that it had already expired. But what could be the reason that the elk had to end up like this? Well, it turned out that the huge animal was running at a speed of 40 miles per hour. Therefore, it could not determine the distance between the 2 trees and became the source of its own misery. And here, trapped in a tree, was nothing left of the buck other than its antlers, as the rest of the body had been eaten by wild animals. Road crossing Yeti. A man, while driving through a road surrounded by the dark forest, had to pull the brakes instantly. Why? That odd creature sitting in the middle of the road is your answer. Spotting it from a little distance, at first, the man thought that it was a man in need of help. But stopping his car there, right when he was about to get out of the car, the cryptid started crawling from the road toward the bushes. Even though a little blurry, the creepy features of the crawler are enough to scare anyone out. And posted in the year 2021, till now, nothing about its true identity has been revealed by authorities. So, what was it? Let me know your thoughts below. Chupacabra captured. Where chupacabras are termed as the mythical creatures that don't really exist, a man, while walking on the road, spotted this bizarre creature grazing the grass. Shocked and completely terrified at his discovery, he started recording this scary creature. When the video was uploaded on the internet, people went insane, with lots of them calling it El Chupacabra, a legendary creature that is supposed to have the body of a dog and enormous fangs, which it uses to kill wild animals, especially goats, as chupacabra means goat sucker. Another man, while going for work, spotted one of them running along the fence line in Houston. Capturing its pictures at the right moment, the man apologizes for the images being a little fuzzy, but says it's because the creature was running at a fast speed, and trying to focus the camera would mean losing the once-in-a-lifetime creature. Orbs on trail camera. A deer grazing alone in the forest and not a demon around? How's that even possible? Finally, here it comes. A glowing orb-like figure floating in the air. Looking like a shining golf ball, it seems to follow the deer along the way, and then slowly coming down as the deer goes off the camera. Even though the deer disappeared at the end, the orb keeps hovering in the air. But what was this thing caught on the camera? A ghost? A UFO? With many previous sightings of the deer with such demonic beings, people believe it to be a similar entity. But let's not ignore the fact of it being a hoax or a camera trick. So, what was it really? Let me know your views. Lion attack. One thing people always fear to encounter when going in the woods is the wild animals. And if that wild animal turns out to be a lion, nobody can guarantee a safe return. One such incident happened with these guys as they were going inside their tents for the night, as two uninvited visitors appeared in front of their tents and started attacking everything that came their way. Furious and curious too, the lions seemed to search inside for prey, and one of them, the supposedly more hungry lion, spotted the man hiding in the tent and started tearing it with its mighty paws. Lingering around for some time and uncertain of getting his desired prey, both the lions leave, but with a terrified memory for the campers to remember. Tangled bucks. A couple, while taking a drive in the forest, spotted two bucks in the worst way possible, as they were badly trapped in the steel wires. The man, with a large plier in his hand, immediately came to the bucks' rescue, but already terrified of the miserable accident, the bucks were not ready to cooperate at any cost, especially the one standing, giving the poor man a hard time, because the more he tries to go near it, the more it gets frustrated, and sometimes even coming so close to breaking his neck until it was set free. The other one, laying on the ground and not moving at all for the whole time, got the man thinking it was dead till he cut its wire, and then it ran even faster than the other one towards the woods.
A bear on rope. A cool video of a big black bear in Canada was captured by the Garrett Bros Outfitting YouTube channel back in 2013. The bear was determined to reach a hanging beaver that was out of its grasp, so it showed off its strength and athletic skills by climbing a tree and hanging from a rope. Despite its best efforts, the bear couldn't reach the beaver and ended up falling down. It gave up on its meal in the end. A trespassing bear. In this funny incident, a bear trespassed onto someone's property at night and tried to snack on some chickens. It attempted to break into the chicken coop, but got startled by a strange voice and decided to run away as fast as possible. Turns out, the owner, Haley, woke up in the middle of the night and shouted at the bear from a window to scare it off. Witch in a graveyard. While exploring a graveyard in Hungary, a guy who was researching ghosts and unusual artifacts came across a spooky encounter. He stumbled upon necklaces made from human teeth and an abandoned graveyard. To his surprise, he discovered a goth-looking woman, possibly a witch, hiding in the area. Instead of running away, he shouted at her, causing her to gather her things and flee. The guy tried to chase after her into the forest, but suddenly fell to the ground as if something was holding his feet down. A cult. This next video is seriously eerie. So imagine a car driving along a dark road at night, right? Suddenly, out of nowhere, a bunch of guys dressed like, guess who? Charlie Chaplin. Yeah, I know, weird, right? Anyway, what's even creepier is when they all stop to peek into the car, and then there's this mysterious light in the background. Oh, and there's this one guy wearing a mask too. Two babies. So there's this cute bear cub named Boog, and guess what he finds in his living room? A baby deer is just chilling there. At first, Boog is kinda careful, slowly approaching the little deer. But the deer is like, nah, I'm not interested, and ignores Boog's attempts to be buddies. But you know what? Boog doesn't give up. He's patient and keeps trying until he finally wins her over. And then they have this adorable little encounter. Who says animals can't be friends, right? A bear. So you know how bears are usually all fluffy and adorable? Well, let me tell you, don't invade their personal space, my friend. They can get pretty feisty. In this video, we've got a little bear who stumbled upon a trail camera. And boy, oh boy, he wasn't having any of it. He went crazy shaking and wiggling that camera until it broke. I mean, it's hilarious to watch, but I kind of feel sorry for the poor camera. A haunted hospital. In July 2022, something strange happened in a hospital. While we see people waiting in the lobby, a surgeon appears, scared as hell, and runs away, tripping here and there. The people there did not give it much importance until they see a wheelchair coming from the left, and then it turns towards them on its own. That's when they knew it wasn't something funny. It was a haunted hospital. A ghost on highway. While driving on the Queensland highway, the driver had no idea something surprising was about to happen. As he kept driving, he noticed something strange on the side of the road. To his surprise, he and other people saw a ghostly figure standing right in the middle of the road. The ghost looked like a pure white child floating just a little bit above the ground. This spooky sighting became famous and many people started calling it the ghost child. However, some people who didn't believe in ghosts argued that it might not be real. Creature feeding on a goat. In Mexico, two farmers were woken up by their goats crying late at night. Concerned for their animals, they hurried outside to see what was going on. To their surprise, they discovered a black, unfamiliar creature hanging from one of the goat's necks. Despite their attempts to free the goat, the creature stubbornly clung on. After a few minutes of struggle, it finally let go and ran away into the woods. The farmers tried to pursue it, but were unsuccessful. The identity and origin of this strange creature remain a mystery. A werewolf. A farmer in South Africa stumbled upon a sight that he never anticipated. He found a dead werewolf on his farm, which was later taken by researchers for investigation. Disturbing photos and videos of the werewolf were later uploaded by unknown individuals, causing fear in those who saw them. Despite being taken for further examination, no explanation was provided, adding to the mystery surrounding the event. A sea dragon. In Vietnam, a farmer went to a nearby pond and witnessed something that many would consider impossible. As seen in the video, the face of a dragon emerged from the water's surface. The dragon briefly looked around as if searching for someone, and the video ends at that point. Was it truly a dragon or some type of sea monster? Share your thoughts on what you believe it could be. A mysterious creature attack. A man in a backyard was captured on a CCTV camera being attacked and dragged by a mysterious creature. Some people might think it's not real, but I've watched it a few times and it seems genuine to me. The way the guy fights back and then gets thrown back to where he started is absolutely crazy. I don't know what it could be, but I hope the person involved is okay now. It's definitely something that makes you wonder about the unknown things in the world. An unknown attacker. Farmers in Puerto Rico were getting worried as their animals kept getting attacked by an unknown predator. Investigators tried to figure out what it was, but they couldn't find any clues. Initially, people thought it was a wolf, but the footprints didn't match. Some people claimed to have seen something like an ape and called it a chupacabra. It mostly targeted goats. The whole situation was scary and kept everyone on edge. And even though it happened a few years ago, the mystery remains unsolved. A dogman. In South Africa, a strange creature has been spotted roaming around town. It looks like a mix of a man and a dog, and it lives and eats with other dogs. There are many rumors and fears surrounding it, but nobody has been able to get close and learn more. We only have blurry camera footage of it walking with its furry friends. The big question is whether it's just a man with mental issues or something more unusual. Let us know your thoughts.
Terrifying ritual in woods. In the depths of Vancouver, a wildlife enthusiast sets up a trail camera, hoping to capture some critters. Instead, they record pure nightmare fuel. Two women covered in black hair feast on a deer's carcass. Are they witches, or are we dealing with something even darker? Walking demons? And who's that mysterious man lurking nearby? The images raise more questions than answers. And we're left haunted by the eerie possibilities. Mysterious forest wanderer. A brave soul once decided to follow something mysterious in the woods. He spotted a tall, black, two-footed creature with super long arms lurking between the trees. It was like Bigfoot himself was taking a stroll in the wilderness. The guy zoomed in, but the creature remained an enigma. Was it the legendary Bigfoot or just a fellow hiker on an adventure? Nobody knows for sure, but it sure added some excitement to his day. Golden Eagle's Bold Feast. With awe and wonder, a trail cam captured the remarkable strength of a golden eagle as it took flight with a fox firmly grasped in its talons. The magnificent raptor demonstrated its hunting prowess, showcasing its ability to overpower animals larger than itself. Though the feat was extraordinary, the circumstances were unique, as the fox had already succumbed to its fate, making the eagle's meal relatively effortless. Creepy encounter in French woods. 11 years ago, in the heart of a dark French forest, a group of friends gathered for a night of revelry and drinks. Little did they know that their fateful decision to record their escapades would lead them to something far beyond their imagination. Amidst laughter and banter, they suddenly spotted an eerie figure lurking behind a tree. While some brushed it off as a mere cat, the unsettling truth dawned upon them. This was no ordinary creature. With its elongated limbs and peculiar movements, it bore a striking resemblance to an extraterrestrial being. Their creepy encounter was caught on tape, and ever since, the mysterious footage has continued to haunt viewers, sparking debates over its authenticity. Close call in abandoned power plant. Urban explorers, the proper people, are no strangers to the thrill of delving into abandoned locations. However, during their European road trip, they encountered a situation that would test their nerves like never before. Inside a decommissioned power plant, Michael found himself alone, and the unsettling feeling of being watched quickly engulfed him. His heart raced as he heard strange noises echoing upon the halls. The adrenaline-fueled escape from an approaching security guard left him breathless.
The screams. In Texas, a local named Dan Robb was recording the intense thunderstorm that was raging outside his window. Suddenly, he heard a sound that chilled him to the bone.
There's a sound screaming. It's like a
series of blood-curdling screams that sounded like they were coming from the depths of hell itself. Dan was terrified. What on earth could be making those sounds? He posted the video to social media, hoping that someone would be able to help him identify the source of the screams. Many people were quick to offer their theories. Some thought it might be a wild animal like a mountain lion or a coyote, while others speculated that it might be something supernatural. In fact, the screaming sound Dan Robb recorded during the thunderstorm in Texas caused quite a stir among locals, with many speculating that it might be the legendary creature known as the Thunderbird. For those who aren't familiar, the Thunderbird is a mythical bird from Native American folklore. It is said to be a huge bird with a wingspan that can reach up to 20 feet or more. The bird is named after the thunder sound that is said to be produced by the flapping of its massive wings. According to legend, the Thunderbird is a powerful and majestic creature that has the ability to summon thunder and lightning with its wings. It is also believed to have healing powers and is revered as a spiritual symbol by many Native American tribes. But the truth turned out to be even stranger than anyone could have imagined. It was eventually revealed that the source of the screams was actually a valve being released at the Global Health Research Complex nearby. The sound was created when pressure was released from a cylinder, and the noise was amplified by the storm. Dan was relieved to finally have an explanation for the terrifying sounds he had heard. But the incident sparked a debate online about the mysterious and sometimes creepy noises that could be heard during thunderstorms. It just goes to show that even the most seemingly ordinary things can sometimes be more unsettling than we realize. A real goblin. The world of social media is full of surprises, and sometimes it can even offer us a glimpse of the most unexpected creatures. In October 2018, a user named Evil1030 shared a video on Instagram that had people talking about a supposed goblin caught on camera. The video was captured in the neighborhood of Pudong in Shanghai, China. The creature in the video appeared to be small, around the size of a child, with a pointy head, pointy ears, and greenish-gray skin. It had a lanky body with bony limbs, and its movements were quick and jerky. The goblin-like figure scurried across a street and disappeared into the bushes, leaving the witnesses stunned and questioning what they had just seen. The video quickly went viral, with many people speculating about what the creature could be. Some believed it was a hoax, while others suggested that it could be a misidentified animal or a creature from Chinese folklore. Interestingly, the video was not the only one of its kind. It's worth noting that the idea of goblins has existed in human mythology for centuries. While there's no scientific evidence to support the existence of goblins, sightings like this one can certainly spark the imagination. Despite the widespread speculation, while it's possible that the video could be genuine, it's also possible that it could be a well-executed hoax or a case of misidentification. However, until more evidence is available, the truth behind this supposed goblin remains a mystery. The Sleeping Beast. Some say Sasquatch is just a myth, but what about this huge, hairy beast that was spotted during the daytime? While collecting the data and evidence for more than 5 years, a team of researchers achieved the goal of their lives after they captured a glimpse of the shyest legendary creature. The massive hairy beast was spotted resting among the dense woods of Kentucky in June 2005, which was claimed to be fake by many. However, according to the team, the sleeping beast was actually a female Sasquatch, as they have also claimed to get DNA proof of that Sasquatch's existence. Bulky bear. How huge can a bear be? This much? Or this much? Well, why don't I show you a genuinely massive bear that was captured walking in Minnesota's National Park in March 2022. With chunky curves, bulky figures, and a belly swinging from side to side, the huge black predator was literally struggling to lift its enormous weight on its poor limbs. Since it is uncommon for black bears to put on this much weight, either this bear was coming out of hibernation, or its belly was filled up with fluids due to some disease. What are your thoughts, guys? Because this would probably be the fattest bear captured by a trail cam ever. Massive snow monster. Filmed at Kingman Stone, the highest point in Tennessee, a group of tourists noticed some bizarre movements in the nearby hill. Spying on them while hiding behind the overgrown woods was a black, hairy, Hulk-sized figure. Let's take a closer look. Due to the thick woods, it was impossible to identify the camouflaging figure that was first assumed to be a huge bear, but a lady in this video could be heard saying, "Bigfoot."
Do you see it? Look at it.
So could it be a legendary Bigfoot? Or just another snow monster? Don't forget to share your views below. Bigfoot in North Carolina. Tales of a large ape-like creature lurking in the forest of North Carolina are as common as the polar bears of Antarctica. While retrieving game cameras set up in a wooded area of the country, a Bigfoot enthusiast heard a couple of knocks and loud grunts and took his camera out to record the wild animal. Although it was not easy to identify, a dark shape could be seen sitting there among the trees. At first, he took it for a large gorilla, but the huge primate was never seen before in that area. So, could it be that legendary hairy beast as claimed by the man? Or was it just an illusion? What do you guys think? Sasquatch on trail. Every now and then, we find proof that Sasquatch actually exists. But why does it always attempt to hide? While driving into the deep woods to explore the forest inhabitants, a team of wildlife conservationists spotted a giant, hairy figure walking across the trail that quickly disappeared back into the forest. However, they chased the creature, which turned out to be a hairy, massive humanoid creature. Unfortunately, they could only manage to capture its back footage since the shy beast was in a hurry to escape. Since then, they're still wondering if it was an actual Sasquatch or just a massive bear that was strolling across the trail. Great black creature. A hair-raising trail cam footage posted by an anonymous user shows a large object which has people speculating over whether it's a Bigfoot, a black bear, or any other giant black predator. The odd figure was captured emerging from the dark background, walking through the woods and fading into the darkness. Many people thought it was a real Bigfoot, but for many, it was nothing more than a huge black bear. But the humanoid walk of the biped creature clues folks into the fact that it may be the great legendary beast. Do you guys have any ideas? Bear versus wolves. A video posted in 2019 shows a horrific interaction between a huge grizzly bear with wolves. The bear could be seen standing on a carcass and taking bites of the fresh meat, which was actually a huge elk taken down by a pack of wolves, who, on their return, were surprised to see another huge predator hijacking their kill, and then began a war for the meal. Just an incredible sight to watch, as most bears hibernate in this time of winter. But this bear was fighting over the flesh all alone. After a deadly exchange of paws and claws, wolves moved on, leaving the bear alone with their kill. Intense bear fight. Somewhere in Finland, these two big brown bears were filmed fighting in the middle of the woods. Starting with horrific warning growls, the massive, giant, fluffy beasts put themselves in an intense battle by standing tall on their 2 feet. A fight for territory or a wrestle for copulation? The extremely ferocious fight continued for minutes, and after a terrifying interchange of punching and biting, one tackled another to the ground and made it move backward after leaving it with a huge bite patch on its back.
A clown in woods. Trail cams are usually used to catch animals in their natural habitat, but sometimes they capture something unexpected. For instance, this clip where a man wearing a clown mask was recorded on a trail cam. The point here is what exactly was this man doing so late at night, so deep in the woods? Considering it was a man, of course, we can't say anything if it was a ghost or something, you know? Well, this creepy clown came straight towards the camera and stared into it for a few seconds for God knows for what reason, leaving us all wondering what other mysteries might be lurking there. A UFO. It isn't just animals or creepy humans that trail cams have recorded. There are times when they capture something more otherworldly and strange in nature. For instance, a UFO. In this footage, we see a light which glows in the darkness of the night, high above in the sky, and then disappears. Now for sure that wasn't a plane, because that's not how planes work, right? But then, what was it? My guess is a UFO. Do let us know what you guys think. Trail cam destruction. Speaking of trail cams, we have to share this adorable clip that we came across. A mama bear and her cub can both be seen wandering around the forest. The baby bear is all in for having fun and decides to take out its energy on the trail cam nearby. He comes straight towards the camera and gives it a good whack. The best part, Mama Bear doesn't seem to care at all. She continues grazing on some grass, completely unfazed by her cub's shenanigans. It's just another day in the life of a mama bear with an energetic cub. An unknown girl. A man with his dog was out camping in the woods. The man thought it'd be a good idea to enjoy some moments of peace and solace with just his dog and himself. But what he did not know was that his peace was about to be ruined by some unusual circumstances. At first, his dog started getting scared without any reason and refused to come out of the camper. According to the man, he usually doesn't do that. And after a while, a man spotted a girl wearing all white going into the forest. That was enough to make him pack his stuff and go back to his home. But who was that girl? I guess we may never know, but it's definitely a chilling thought to ponder. A strange light. Even though we title this one as The Strange Light, a UFO might suit this one more, but we leave it for you to decide. A Ring camera in Bakersfield recorded a bizarre light descending from the sky towards the ground. It was only visible for a brief moment, but it was enough to make us wonder if we're not alone in this universe. Some people are saying it could be a UFO, but what do you think? Is this evidence that aliens are planning to invade Earth? Or is there a more logical explanation? We're dying to know your thoughts in the comments. A black being. Sometimes people come up with the strangest ideas, and this man was no exception. While taking a stroll through the woods, he decided to strap a camera to his back. And thank goodness he did, because he captured something really bizarre. When he got home and checked the footage, he noticed a dark creature lurking on the edge of the frame. It seemed to be staring right at him, but for some reason, it didn't attack. What was it? A predator sizing up its prey, or just a curious critter? We'll probably never know for sure, but it sure does make for a creepy video.
Scary gator. Filmed somewhere in the southwest of Florida, here we have another swamp lover. With glowing eyes and terrifying features, it could be seen crawling creepily toward the trail cam, making me feel that it will suddenly open its monstrous jaws and will smash the camera in a second. But luckily, this scary gator took no interest in the trail cam and passed swiftly through the damp swamp, carrying its armored, muscular tail with it. Unknown hands grabbed the trail cam. Hiding behind the huge tree while trying to inspect the trail cam is an unknown beast whose bizarre hands were recorded 3 years back somewhere in the Canadian wilderness. The clip begins with a mysterious hand that appeared from behind the camera and attempted to grab it. The rough-looking hand with long, skinny fingers and a layer of thick hair on the arm didn't appear to be human at all. Neither could it be a bear. Then, could it be the most discussed character of the woods, or any other giant hairy figure trying to investigate the device? Any suggestions? Woodpecker smashed trail cam. An unbelievable moment was captured 2 years back when a team of scientists set up a trail cam to record some wildlife species. Instead of attracting any rare animal, the trail cam unfortunately grabbed the attention of an aggressive woodpecker who was not happy with this new addition on the trunk. Looking directly into the lens, it started to peck the camera and repeatedly pecked it until it was completely destroyed. Pecking to make a hole for a nest or just finding an insect to eat? Well, whatever the reason, it literally made me wonder about the power of its pointed beak. Lion chewed a GoPro. This time not a trail cam, but a GoPro became a target for a large, curious feline. After ambushing the camera mounted at the back of a Jeep, the lioness decided to get closer and opened its huge mouth to grab the camera through its powerful jaws. After a successful camera robbery, the big cat quickly made off and could be seen running fast. Far away from the owner, it took the camera somewhere in the bushes and started chewing with its sharp, pointed teeth. And all we could see was a very detailed view into its mouth. However, after realizing the object was without any flesh, it left it there and walked away.
The wildest feast. Hold on tight, folks, as we venture to Powwow River, British Columbia, where a Canadian nurse's trail camera caught something truly disturbing. Prepare to be shocked as the camera reveals 2 nearly naked figures feasting on a deer carcass. Who are these mysterious people, and what on earth are they doing out in the wilderness, indulging in such a gruesome act? Some say they might be skinwalkers or psychopaths, while others believe it's something beyond our wildest imaginations. Either way, you might think twice before wandering into the woods alone. Creepy forest figure. In an Indonesian forest, locals stumbled upon a horrifying sight. A figure wrapped in cloth, standing motionless. According to local beliefs, it could be the soul of a dead person trapped in their shroud, known as a Pokemon. This belief is deeply rooted in Indonesian culture and folklore, adding to the mystery and fear surrounding the sight. The video captured the figure's ghostly appearance, with its eyes peering intensely into the surroundings. Witnesses were both in awe and concern as they encountered what they believed to be an ancient ghostly entity. The floating cat. A home security camera captured bizarre paranormal activity as a cat floated in midair and moved across the bed. These occurrences are often attributed to poltergeists, entities known for their mischievous behavior. The video showcases an unsettling encounter that leaves the homeowners pondering the presence of supernatural forces in their residence. Such encounters raise questions about the boundaries between the physical and the metaphysical, reminding us of the unexplained mysteries that surround us.
A creature hiding. When this man was trying to find something out of the ordinary in the woods, he came across exactly that. A weird, tiny creature with glowing eyes hiding deep under some abandoned well. And even though he was just looking for that kind of thing, the man did not stop for even a second to have a closer look at that thing. A creepy man. This video captures this super creepy guy lurking around in the woods. The person filming tries to have a chat with him and figure out what he's doing there.
How you doing? Oh.
But he doesn't say a single word. Instead, he just makes these spine-chilling noises that'll totally creep you out. After a moment, the man begins crawling out of the woods in the most bizarre manner, and that's when the person filming becomes spooked and decides to leave the area. A demon. So there's this video of these guys who went for a night walk in the woods. They had a flashlight, but it was still hella dark. As they were walking, they found this strange creature sitting on the ground with its back to them. At first, they figured it was some sort of animal, but when it turned its head around, they saw these creepy glowing eyes and a super creepy face. Some folks say it was a demon, while others reckon it was a fallen angel. Either way, it's some seriously spooky stuff. The Rake. This video features a man who was intrigued by unusual sounds emanating from the sewer near his home. He'd heard similar noises before and had seen what he believed to be an extraterrestrial being. In a courageous attempt, he tried to communicate with the creature, but the outcome was anything but calm. While some speculate that it may have been the Rake, the identity of the creature remains a mystery. A creepy creature. Dark web is something we all know about, but not everyone can access. And trust me, the ones who did access it ended up regretting. Take this video for example. We see a creepy creature moving in the house from hallway to the room and then to God knows where. And if you're thinking it was human, just look at the way it's walking. Does that look human to you? Alien-like figure. In July 2021, some people were on their way back to their home in India. According to them, it was somewhere around midnight when they came across this creepy figure walking along the road. Good thing they had a dash cam installed in their car, so we got this footage. And just look at the way it's walking. It seems like an alien to me. But do let us know what you guys think. A strange worm. A man in Australia was out for his routine walk when he came across this strange-looking worm-like thing. It's not the fact that it looks like a worm that makes it strange, but it's the length of the thing and the way it's divided into multiple segments is what makes it strangest of all. I've never seen any worm of such length before.
Three-eyed creature. In this clip, which was taken on February 18th at 2:37 a.m., we can see what appears to be a monster with 3 eyes. Zooming in on the photo doesn't do much to offer an explanation. The background is this. The first 2 nights that 2 friends in Finland used a new trail camera, testing it out in some nearby woodland, it didn't record anything. But on the morning of the 3rd night, they went to get the camera, and it was gone. They found it lying in someone's back garden as they were walking home. When they checked for images, they found this picture. Is this mysterious 3-eyed creature in the picture the result of radiation, or just a lens flare? Woman disappearing caught on camera. The imagination is captured by ghost stories, legends, and strange encounters, and many Japanese people share their own spooky tales. One such instance is a terrifying video that user HappyJPY published to TikTok, which has generated so much interest and discussion. Through a GoPro, we observe a cyclist's perspective in the video. As I rewatch it, I notice that the biker almost hits a young woman, but as he turns around to take a look, nobody is there. Viewers have made assumptions about the woman's true nature due to this perplexing incident. According to a widely accepted notion, this might be a Yurei, a legendary Japanese spirit known for its restless and malevolent disposition. Siren head spotted in Amsterdam. There are clever assassins who seduce victims by mimicking their pals' voices, and these slim, mummified hominids with 2 titanium sirens on their head are known as Siren Head. They're similar to the 2020 version of a Slender Man. We initially believed these tales to be urban legends, but we looked into them once fresh information about an ancient cave picture emerged. Unfortunately, we were unable to obtain anything. Shaking trees. This tree was reportedly recorded by a drone as it moved erratically across the woodland. People who say they have previously witnessed something similar claim it was caused by a Bigfoot shaking a tree, which would be an astounding feat. I must admit that as I watch it more, the more doubtful I become. Has anything similar to this ever been seen? Turkeys circling a dead cat. In a disturbing video from a Randolph, Massachusetts suburban neighborhood, a flock of turkeys could be seen around a dead cat for an extended period of time. As the loop became larger and larger, more and more turkeys joined it from the adjacent forests. Definitely strange. And if anyone has any information on this incident, we'd love to hear it. Screaming Man Ghost. This video clip, which hasn't been given a specific date or time, shows a naked man sitting with his legs crossed and appearing to be screaming or shouting. Could this be an apparition or just a Photoshop hoax? It was filmed in Jackson County, Mississippi on February 16, 2014 at 8:09 p.m. This image, which is widely shared in the UFO community, purports to show a deer looking at 2 distant lights. However, depending on the time between images and whether the deer's eyes actually bled into the image, it may simply be a camera error. A weird creature in the woods. After seeing unexplainable holes being excavated on his property, a man in Kentucky set up a trail camera behind his home. Even though it's pitch black outside, you can make out the form of a man or other creature walking. He, like me, is unsure about what exactly he's seeing here. We can all agree that it resembles a monster with dense, dark hair. You'll have to make the final decision regarding the enigmatic holes that continue to appear.
Aliens. Now this clip might be a little blurry, but what it shows is just creepy as hell. A man was having his normal day when he felt that there was someone nearby. Considering he was in the woods, where usually no one goes, he took his camera out and started recording. And what he captured was a creature moving very quickly behind the trees.
There. Do you see it?
Its pace and height made it seem not like a human. But then, what was it? The mystery remains unknown. Someone behind the tree. This video was recorded by a group of friends who were looking for ghosts and other unusual beings. They thought that would be present there. And that's exactly what they happened to come across. They were hearing strange noises, and when they went deeper into the forest to investigate, they saw a weird creature staring at them from behind the tree. As soon as they spotted it, it disappeared.
Oh shit! My God.
A black thing. A weird black smoke-like being is what appears in this video, and this happened when an arrest was going on in Florida. Neither the police officers nor the other man had any idea about it. They remained oblivious to the thing, but the guy recording it was surely freaked out. Scary deer. This weird image was captured by a trail camera in 2022, and what we see here is a deer with scary mutations. Was this a result of some scary experiments going on with animals, or was this just some natural mutation? Nobody knows. Ghost Man. A glowy figure which appeared to have a white cloth on is what we see in this picture. But who was he? What was he doing so late at night, so deep in the woods? Nobody could tell, and people couldn't help but think that it was a ghost, as there was no way a human could wander off alone in that place at night. 3 eyes. It might look like a normal trail cam captured photo, but when you see it closely, you will see 3 glowing eyes on the left. But last time I checked, there was no animal with 3 eyes. But then, what was it? An alien or a ghost? Do let us know what you guys think. Panther. To some, it looked like a black panther, and to others, it looked like a ghostly vampire panther with such long fangs. It could be just a normal panther, but then how do we explain the glowy thing with it? It's surely a weird photo captured by the camera at the weirdest time possible. A ghost kid. Look closely and you will find a kid walking around in the woods in this picture. When the man uploaded it on Facebook, he was asking others if anyone knew who the kid was, and surprisingly, no one did. The kid's presence and identity remained unknown forever, leaving everyone until today to wonder who it was and what happened there.
A land of ancient civilization, Egypt holds in it the most bizarre, terrifying, and peculiar creatures. Some are remains of the dead, others still out there trying to scare humans with their frightening features. Sit tight to see these mind-boggling things caught on camera. Tied mummy. An ancient criminal? Or proof of classic cruelty from our ancestors' time? Well, in truth, it's none of these. Found in a 1.8 meter deep pit, the body of a man believed to be in his mid-age was strangely tied and was buried 1,800 years ago in this burial chamber. But with his hand covering the face and whole body being tied with ropes, the mummy is not a victim, but actually it was a part of their custom that was practiced around hundreds of years ago. Yes, researchers believe that the whole binding process may have been some kind of ritual, practiced to preserve the bodies forever. Croc mummies. Abandoned alien. Strolling in the desert is an alien creature. Though it has a humanoid body with its extremely long limbs, thin skin, and the way it is walking with a stooped posture, it sure gives some eerie vibes to the onlookers. Because of the blurry video, some say that it is a chupacabra walking in the deserts and planning an attack on the livestock. A majority of the people believe that because it is found in a deserted area, it could be a mummy that decided to come alive after spending centuries in the coffin. Because how else could anyone explain the slim body of the weirdo walking in the middle of the day? Deserted whales. While we believe that fish and deserts are two parallel things, researchers in Egypt found whale carcasses right in the desert lands, and not just one or two. The desert was filled with bones, skulls, and huge carcasses of whales. In fact, these bones were so abundant in the land that it was given the name of Whale Valley. While folks were baffled, how could it be possible? According to investigators, it may be possible that in ancient ages, it was a result of a mass beaching, in which the whales and dolphins willingly strand themselves on land and die. And when the ocean moved further away, they may have been buried in the sand. Ancient skeleton. Not even a meter long, the tiniest skeleton to ever be found continues to shock researchers with its mind-blowing feature. At first, they were stunned to see that such a tiny creature existed in old times. Secondly, they determined it was not a creature, but a tiny human. Yes, it's true. This skeleton named Atta is actually a human, but with multiple bone-related mutations. The long skull and slanted eyes did not indicate a single mutation, but Atta was born with plenty of them present in his genes. Some in the bones, others in the ribs, and others in joints. which is the reason behind his teeny tiny size and lesser ribs. Only 10, where normally there are 12. Mysterious statue. Standing in an Egyptian museum is this eerie statue, containing a perfectly carved body with its eyes resembling a human and always observing the people. The statue, being 4,500 years old and being held in the Museum of Cairo, is considered a wonder of ancient art. The statue has a perfectly plastered and painted outermost layer, but the most striking feature of the statue is no doubt its eyes. Made with sycamore wood, the fact that they are still present in almost their original form is quite impressive, as the researchers are trying to figure out the secret ingredient used to keep it so long-lasting. Bursting pool. Right in the middle of the desert, there's lava popping out, and it looks like it's about to explode on the onlookers' faces. But what is it? This question has been baffling people for so long. Some said it was the pit of the Sarlacc, a beast believed to be living beneath the desert sands. The others called it a desert monster coming out of its hiding place. But in reality, it's actually neither of these, as it was a small reserve of oil found in the middle of Egypt's desert, and due to extreme heat, the oil looked like it was about to burst out of the small hole. Sleeping girl. Looking like a sleeping child, the girl shocked the archaeologists when it was caught, because it felt like the girl would open its eyes at any moment. But actually, she had been dead for about 1,200 years, and was perfectly preserved, which muddled the researcher too. But her history is even more baffling. The girl was a teenager when she was sacrificed as a common religious practice of that time. Found in her hair were the signs of consuming alcohol and cocoa, which were given to her as a way to persuade her for the sacrifice, which actually means that she was drugged before the ritual took place. Concealed toads. Preserving the least expected things. The old customs are nothing but a mystery for the present world. Just like this, when a man, while digging an ancient tomb, unearthed a jar. While the other jars used to be filled with the organs of humans that died hundreds of years ago, this one was filled with 8 mummified toads. Yeah, toads, about 4,000 years old. And when they investigated them even further, the archaeologists were shocked to see that all 8 toads were decapitated before being preserved in the jar. But nobody knows what the purpose of preserving toads was. Were they considered holy in the past world? Or is there some mystery in it we cannot ever unveil? Preserved victim. While preservation of the old elite people is something we're used to, a preserved murder victim was something new even for the archaeologists. Not manually buried, but being dumped in a peat bog, the corpse was naturally preserved. Meet the 2,400-year-old corpse, known as the Tulland Man. Found deep in a bog with its neck tied with rope, the researchers were able to determine that the corpse had been hung. For what purpose, no one knows. But one thing there is the last meal he had eaten before he was put to death, which turned out to be porridge and some fish. Exposed grave. Not a mummy, but a man's camera caught a bizarre scene from a cemetery. He spotted a half-open grave in the middle of the cemetery, and taking a closer look, the man's camera recorded the skeleton of a human, probably 1.8 meters tall, lying inside. Not knowing how the grave opened, the guy went a little inside, and he was shocked to see some more skulls placed on the grave's corner. And that was not it, as human legs and some other body parts were also present inside it, which definitely didn't belong to the single person. So what was going on here? Let me know what you think. Mummified Queen. With her veins still red, skin still tough, the lady, known as the Queen of Mummification, is said to be the wealthiest woman of her time. Sleeping along with the valuables that were placed inside her tomb, she showed the signs of wealth and prosperity, and the researchers assumed that this might be the reason behind the exemplary preservation of the lady, because even after being dead for hundreds of years, her joints were still flexible, even though her eyelash and nose hair were still intact. and it looked like a corpse of a recently deceased person rather than someone who had died centuries ago. Dino people. If you used to believe that humans came following the dinosaurs' extinction, then get ready to be proven wrong. As buried underneath a tomb, scientists discovered something strange yet fascinating. They unearthed hundreds of figurines containing the figure of humans and dinosaurs, and both of them along with each other. And even some of them showed people riding the dinosaurs, which potentially proves that there might have been some time in the ancient eras where both of these creatures used to live together, but probably for a very short period of time, that no signs other than these thousands of year old figurines were found. Gold mummies. This is the Valley of the Gold Mummies, where multiple people are taking their eternal sleep, covered in gold. Containing a rich culture filled with distinct traditions, Egyptians highly impacted their surroundings, just like the Romans, who, when invading Egypt, adopted the process of mummification, and that in gold, obsessed with the idea of gold. The Egyptians used to believe that the gods were made up of gold, so when their kings died, they used to cover their bodies in gold-plated coffins, and sometimes even cover their faces with gold so that they could become a divine being in the afterlife. Sewer monster. While exploring the ancient caves, a group of explorers decided to go a little further inside it, in search of some old treasures that might be hidden there. When not being able to locate anything, the group decided to head back towards their car. But it turned out someone really didn't want them to go back, as when heading back, one of the boys heard something coming from an ancient drainage system a little distant from the caves. And there it was, a strange creature, a cryptid, that even though locked in the bars, was trying all of its efforts to come out and catch the group.
Okay.
But luckily, the group made it out unharmed. Unicorn remains. While many of us believe that unicorns belong to the fictional world and don't belong to our world, a man's camera caught the unexpected, a unicorn skull half buried in the sand. And when it was brought to the researchers, they revealed something that might disappoint you, as these ancient unicorns are nothing like we expected them to be, and are more recent than the humans had assumed. Because in reality, the unicorns did not resemble the horses, but actually were something quite like rhinos, with a single horn over its head, that roamed the earth about 29,000 years ago. Coffins of Saqqara. Found inside the tomb of Saqqara are buried the rarest and the most fascinating coffins. An archaeologist was shocked when he accidentally found a chamber of huge figurines that were buried there about 2,000 years ago. And when they went inside, the archaeologist was surprised to see hundreds of them placed inside the chamber. And not alone, they were placed along with gilded masks and falcons, and a lot of other antique things that showed signs of wealth, as no ordinary people were inside those coffins. Some of them were kings and queens of the 2,000-year-old world, and that proves that Saqqara was once a land of great importance. Egyptian witch. A man decided to visit a cave to see the ancient witch that is believed to be living there. At first, he was disappointed to have not spotted anything, but on his way back, he was shocked to see a creature sitting on the abandoned side of the mountain. The creature, or must I say the womanly beast wearing black clothes, had a strange appearance. Holding a stick made of animal skull, the cryptid's face was all covered. Furious for being followed by the man, the witch went inside, and even from a distance, it was clear that she was casting some sort of spell. Clearly for this reason, as she didn't want the boy to leave there alive. Lady Rye. A perfect example of embalming for the archaeologists. This is Lady Rye, discovered in 1881. She is believed to have died at 40 years of age, and is usually referred to as the oldest mummy which has ever been found. But other than being the oldest lady, Rye's body holds so many fascinating features. Her body was at first covered in linen clothing, and then for preservation, the people had used a mixture of resin and sand, which had helped in keeping the corpse intact. And her CT scan revealed that she had been suffering from atherosclerosis, which led to her death, a disease quite common in people from that age. Gowned Man. Why is it always that in the darkest of nights, people decide to explore the creepiest of places? Well, right there, stands the answer to our question. While visiting the ancient detention center that was actually built to imprison the old criminals, hearing some weird voices, the visitors were sure that there was something strange going on in there. But, well, whatever it was, didn't give the people any time to react, as it popped right in front of them. Wearing a long white gown. Because the video cuts right there, nothing much is known of the eerie gowned man. But what do you think it actually was? Mystery creature. When caught on camera, a mysterious creature with a pale color was caught walking on an empty road at night. It was about 2 meters tall and was walking while scooching over. It had a human head, but relatively skinny body. And as soon as the video went viral, it started a debate among the paranormal enthusiasts. Some say it is a hoax, while others believe the video shows they have spotted similar things around their houses. But because the exact location of the creature was not known, nothing much about it was revealed. So, was it a ghost, a mummy, or an alien caught wandering? Cave ghost. Feeling that something is not right with the place, the man started recording to get proof of what he was seeing. It was wearing a white cape-like clothing and kept encountering the man, probably signaling him to go back. And there it was, a little far, but a creature with no legs and presumably no bones was caught at an abandoned place and strolling there for some time. The ghost-like creature went straight into the wall and disappeared. Because the video cuts there, not much is known about the creature. But do let me know what you think of this flying ghost. Seti the Mummy. Lying in the National Museum of Egypt, Seti's mummy has gained much importance for the last few years, as researchers have found something that has been keeping the mummy intact for years. Other than being usually packed and mummified like the rest, it looks like the ancient Egyptians used to be quite advanced in plastic surgery, as they have applied filters on the cheekbones and even on the head. That's how, even after being decapitated by some robbers 3,000 years ago, the mummy, covered in lots of clothing, still lies in the museum, as fresh as it can be. Inside the pyramids. Compared to our little knowledge, there are way more mysteries that the pyramids contain. Just like this beauty. Well, she's the beauty of the mummy's world. Officials say that when they discovered her and opened her coffin, she was wearing a gold crown on her head and jewelry as well. And because the lady was not identified, the fact that she was buried in an elite place and gold finery was buried along her determines the rank she belonged to. But there was something strangely unique in her, as the lady was not buried with her original eyes, but they had been replaced by wooden eyes that were carved exactly like real ones. Miniature coffins. While digging up a tomb of an ancient king in Egypt, the archaeologists came across the tiniest coffins, and inside them laid the tiniest mummies of stillborn babies of the king. Though the scientists know that such mutations and stillbirths were common in the ancient world, they were still investigating the fact that these two baby girls were born along with their father. But it was after some time they got to know that being buried along with girls was considered a luck charm, as the ancient people used to believe the girls and women as their protectors that would guide them in their afterlives. Oldest mummy. This 300-year-old mummy was found in the year 2020 and was believed to be something out of this world. Though the corpse was not present in its original form and was distorted from several parts, the researchers consider it a present from the past. The corpse was male with a height of 1.5 meters, covered in several pieces of clothes that were strongly tied with the corpse. The inside of the body looked like it was cremated before burial, but not not just a single dead body, but several cremated parts of human bodies were also placed inside the coffin, which made the discovery even more suspicious. Underwater mysteries. Hiding underneath the water, the recent finds in an Egyptian city are not something you would see every day, as they belong to different parts of history. At one side of the Mediterranean Sea, archaeologists found the remains of a 2,200-year-old shipwreck that was struck by the giant blocks of a large temple from the city that had already sunk in the water before. And on the other side, they have also found an ancient burial ground from where different kinds of decorated pottery and gold amulets under the water were believed to be 2,400 years old. An archaeologist, while exploring the Great Pyramids of Egypt, had this strange experience. While going down through a wooden ladder, the man felt a strange movement deep down, so he paused there for a while. And there it was, a wild creature resembling a wolf and containing Satan horns on his head was approaching the archaeologists. Unable to identify it, he quickly ran towards the top, leaving the beast far behind in the tunnel. Though nothing much was revealed by them, it's believed that the tunnel was later filled with mud to secure the researchers from any danger. Let me know what you think of this strange discovery.
Forests are beyond trees and wild animals, but a place where dangerous mythical creatures are known to take refuge. From mysterious creatures in the dark to completely unrecognizable forces in broad daylight, these are some of the most disturbing creatures ever to be caught on the trail camera. Skeleton with glowing eyes. Either this is a prison escapee or a good old ghost. A group of young hikers who were out on a camping trip in Casanino National Forest, Arizona. While exploring the forest, they noticed a troubled-looking man sitting beside a narrow stream of water. To get a better look at it, the light was focused on it, to which it reacted by suddenly turning and staring at them. It had a shaved head with a skinny body, almost as if it were a Halloween skeleton. No matter how dark it gets, human eyes do not glow or reflect light, which clearly shows that this was no human, but a skeleton ghost. Glowing-eyed mummy chase. Just by looking at the glowing eyes, you can know this certainly is no hoax. In September 2019, two colleagues were returning from work in their car when a manly figure in the dark started sprinting parallel to them. Seconds later, the ghostly figure closed in towards the light, revealing its final form. It seemed to look like a mummy with glowing eyes and an incredible speed. First, it got closer to them and then attempted to jump into the vehicle when the driver was able to speed away. This certainly could not be a human, but a mummy that may have gotten possessed by a supernatural entity. Ghost attempts to hide. Either this ghost dozed off into the water or it was attempting to hide itself. A trail camera planted on a bridge next to a haunted house captured footage of a ghost that tripped into a small stream. The camera was placed in the area to investigate the cause of disturbance in the area in the dead of night. After reviewing the footage, many believe that this would rather be a cause of a young woman being possessed by a ghost. Flying humanoid. If the furry humanoids weren't spooky enough, you now have one that can fly. Two young boys, while playing in the backyard of a farm in Kent, United Kingdom, noticed a weird-looking hive. With their father filming the video, they got closer to the hive when a flying bug came out of the hive. At first, it was thought to be a firefly or a dragonfly, but seconds later they could notice that this bug is humanoid. From arms to legs, it had a body structure completely similar to that of a human with wings to fly. As it came flying out, the father and the kids reacted by fleeing away. Since the footage has gone viral, many call it a real-life fairy. Forest zombie. This looks to be either a zombie or a clown, or perhaps both. After numerous reports of something haunting a small part of a forest in Ontario, Canada, paranormal investigators decided to investigate. After several hours of searching, they weren't able to find any ghosts, but rather a zombified being that was stalking them from a distance. Upon one of the paranormal investigators spotting this haunting figure, it quickly escaped behind the tree and into the darkness. It had sparkly eyes, clown-like makeup, sharp reflexes, and not to mention huge in size. Imagine the horror of such a nightmare ambushing you. Jungle Highway Crawler. Choosing a highway to crawler in the middle of a forest is probably the worst place to be around for creeping onto someone. Only a few days ago, a transport driver, while passing through the dense Valdivian temperate rainforest road, came across a naked-looking crawler in the middle of the road. It looked to be quite skinny, as a frame of moving skeleton with a very bleak face and hair, although it remained mostly stationary. But according to the driver, it was too eager to get closer. The driver, who turned around for alternate route out of fear of his safety, was criticized by many for not helping a possible man in distress. Sword Hand Skeleton. Something as scary as this surely redefines the notion of haunting spirits in graveyards. With the appearance of a sharp footstep-like trail all around the cemetery, gravediggers decided to place a trail camera, hoping to find some answers. To their surprise, a disturbing-looking rake being was caught on camera as it was passing by the graves using its sword-like limbs to move. Its body was merely a dark shade of skeleton. While many consider it a rogue ghost, some call it to be a case of reincarnation or a dead man walking. Humpy Ghost. It's probably the hump that may have gotten it not so mobile. A group of friends who were lighting up firecrackers to celebrate the 4th of July when they were interrupted by a high-pitched guttural cry. Curious for answers, they decided to investigate the noise. While passing through the trees, they were abruptly stopped after spotting what looks to be a weird, humpy entity in the dark. Since the idea of getting closer for identification wasn't an option, they decided to lobby a flying firecracker in its direction before running away.
Get the hell out of here.
Many take it to be a case of a drugged-up human, but whatever it was surely is a terrifying sight to behold. Dark Furry Monster. This particular dark furry monster may initially seem like a man wearing a Halloween costume until you look closely at its eyes. Two explorers, while passing through the forest of northern Iran, spotted an eerie hiding behind the bushes. Due to the pitch darkness of the night, they were forced to get closer to it to investigate. While preaching religious chants, they were to get close, but still could barely see it. It had a hairy fur-like coat with incredibly white eyes that were visible. Due to lack of light and fear of the unknown, they weren't able to get a good look at it despite being spitting distance away from it. Tall, furry humanoid. The bigger and furrier it is, the more concerning it gets. After dozens of reports of a tall, furry, human-like figure being noticed in a woods near Winnipeg, a former canine expert was hired by wildlife experts to find and investigate. The canine tracker, after hours of attempting to find the rumored humanoid, was about to call it a day until the notorious being made a sudden appearance as it passed by the tree. The tracker attempted to get a closer look at it, but his dog refused to join into the pursuit, creating a moment of confusion that aided in the humanoid's escape. Fortunately, a camera was installed on the dog harness, which captured the first ever glimpse of this rumored being. Slender Man. In 2018, two friends and a little girl were traveling across states when they bumped into an abnormality, tall and suspicious-looking man referred to as the Slender Man. The Slender Man appeared in the middle of them, making the driver turn off-road and into the grass before stopping. Seconds later, the camera blacked out and started recording once again, showing the Slender Man walking in the woods with the little girl. One of the two friends went missing, while the other was able to find the little girl with a note left behind probably by the Slender Man. Till date, authorities haven't been able to figure out who or where this tall being came from. Creepy cryptid encounter. Is this a bird of some kind or just a horribly looking rodent? While out for an adventure, a tourist encountered a creepy looking animal that was hiding behind a dried up tree trunk in the Appalachian Mountains of North America. Its face looked as if it were deformed with something like a beak on the face. The intentions of this animal were unclear, as it never moved much besides keeping the eyes locked onto the recorder. With the behavior as such, the tourist described it to be an unrecognizable animal that was later pronounced to be a cryptid. Skinwalker attack in woods. If you hear an unsettling humming sound, it's probably for the best to stand clear of it. A man, while driving on the outskirts of Montana, stopped for a cigarette break when he heard a very unsettling humming sound all of a sudden. Out of curiosity, the man entered the woods to find the source of the sound when a skinny, fast-moving skinwalker appeared from nowhere in pursuit of the man, almost as if it were a predator. What happened next remains a mystery. However, the fact that this video made it to the internet shows that the man who recorded the footage may have survived. Alien Scout. The appearance of the UFOs and alien sightings such as these are surely not a mere coincidence. A couple, along with their neighbors, were camping nearby the Big Bear Lake in California when a tiny possum-like being made a sudden appearance, catching them all by surprise. According to the witnesses, it had a physical appearance similar to that of a fictional character, Dobby from the Harry Potter movies, but was a bit too green. As the wildlife experts are trying to make sense of the incident, many debated that this could be an alien scout, especially due to a UFO sighting the previous day. Cryptid caught on camera. Cryptid or not, even they tend to make mistakes and get seen. An explorer, while placing his trail camera in a mountain forest somewhere in the United States, found a mysterious shadowy figure. It was seen curiously peeking out from next to a broad tree trunk and got caught on the camera that was still recording. Although it didn't show any sinister intentions, the cameraman quickly ran away from the area. The fact that the nature of this being is unknown and you never know what it might be capable of, he instinctively decided to run away. The figure remains a complete mystery, despite widespread online exposure. Crooked-faced walker. This is one of those times when something fictional becomes a reality. Residents from a small town in Wisconsin reported numerous appearances of this crooked-faced walker, which has a resemblance to a mythical character called the Spirit Walker. Locals would often wear costumes depicting the walker until it actually started appearing after dark at festivals and community events. So much so that it was locally known as the Spirit of Bizarre. It has a body structure similar to that of a man with extremely long, bony arms, all covered in a suit and a mask. The footage was taken by one of the cameras that was placed to get a closer view at it. Shady Beast. With little to no trees around, the chances of it being a monkey is next to impossible. A footage captured in a woodland area in Nebraska shows a troubled-looking individual that was spotted by passerby as it appeared out from behind the grass. The author of the video at first thought it to be a monkey in distress or an animal of some kind until it got closer and up on its hind, revealing its terrifying face as it began chasing. The recorder described it to have a beastly appearance, which, after video getting viral, was later nicknamed as the Shady Beast. Catching birds for dinner. A simple fact that gorillas are not known to hunt birds is enough to say that this isn't something normal. A video recorded in March 2016 by a fisherman who was returning from a catch shows a huge furry animal on top of a pole. This furry animal was attempting to catch seagulls flying nearby. Upon capturing one of them, it started bashing the seagull aggressively on the pole, presenting its incredible strength, and started eating minutes later. As it was able to climb tall, narrow poles easily, many speculated that it could be a gorilla, but honestly, it seems like a really hungry Bigfoot. Groot-like creature. If Groot has an evil twin, this probably has to be it. A Virginia family of 3 went out for trekking in the nearby forest where they noticed a tall, dark man-like tree that also happened to be staring at them. The parents commented that they felt like being followed by an unknown stalker hours after entering the forest. Coincidentally, they happened to notice the same tree, despite moving for several hours, which raised their suspicion. Interestingly, the tree creature didn't seem to have any footsteps left behind and remained stationary until it was seen moving slowly. Could it be that a tree somehow came to life, or is it an outer Earth visitor? Giant Tarzan. A sighting such as this is probably a dream come true for all the Tarzan fans. A construction worker in Minnesota, while on a break, saw that this very tall man, who was caught by the magnificence of modern construction, it looked almost naked, covered only by a dark piece of clothing with a height twice to that of an average person. As one of the construction workers riding on his bicycle passed by that point, this real-life Tarzan suddenly disappeared. Since the footage was taken from quite a distance, the tall man wasn't identified properly. Caned Ghost Yoda. Facing off a pissed Yoda is more dangerous than all other scary creatures in the dark. A cowboy on a horse was passing through woods while looking at some missing cattle, bumped into a tiny being having similarity to that of a Yoda from Star Wars. This Yoda, resembling a ghost, was running towards the cowboy while aggressively stabbing its sharp cane on the ground. It began to gain pace upon closing in, and due to the fear of the unknown, the man responded by fleeing. While the actual intentions of the caned ghost Yoda may remain a mystery, it definitely couldn't be any good. Aggressive Yeti. What could be scarier than being killed by a Yeti? It's having one to trip and fall onto you. In January 2021, 2 friends out on a 3-day hiking adventure came across some way scarier than your typical wild animal, a Yeti. The Yeti appeared out of nowhere and started inspecting their backpacks when they returned back to their base camp with firewood. During the unwarranted inspection, the Yeti unknowingly pepper sprayed itself in the eyes. It began to panic aggressively. It got so aggressive that it nearly fell on the hikers before stumbling down the hilly terrain. Bigfoot with glowing eyes. Maybe this Bigfoot was just showing off its sparkling eyes. A TikToker, while out in the Canadian woods for a video, had a close call with this giant gorilla-like creature with exceptionally bright eyes. At first, it was thought of being some gorilla, until after it came closer while passing by. Being caught in fear and confusion, he decided to film the incident. To get answers, the video was uploaded on social media, where many called it a Bigfoot, and that this might be the closest ever encounter with one of them. The TikToker definitely was fortunate enough that the Bigfoot didn't display any predatory behavior. Naked man. A hunter, while passing past a forest nearby Tomorrow World area, when he heard someone calling at him for help. Upon looking down, he noticed a man with not a stitch of clothing on him standing by the creek along with a walking cane. While maintaining distance, the naked man claimed that he had been robbed, beaten up, and stripped of all clothing by bullies during the music festival before being dropped in the woods. After days of trying to survive, he decided to stick next to the creek. The hunter managed to get a number of the naked man's next of kin to get in touch so they could come and get him. This picture was captured by a lost traveler who was passing through a forest in New Zealand on June 10, 2021. The traveler, while stopping to rest for the night, was disturbed by a terrifying zombie-like cry not too far from his location. In hopes to offer help, he called closer to the source of the sound, only to find its point of origin from something that looked unlike any known human. Seconds after the encounter, the traveler immediately decided to flee for his life. After several minutes of running away, the recorder hid himself under a tree bark and decided to remain stationary till dawn, leaving having this picture, the only clear view of this being. Paranormal creature climbing. Something so dark and tiny as this rules out the possibility of it being a burglar. A security camera placed opposite to a villa in a rural area of Karnataka, India, shows a black child-sized creature that crawls next to the villa until it starts climbing up. Locals believe it to be the spirit of a young child that once lived in the house to be returning, while others believe it to be a djinn. Whatever this may have been, it was surely sneaky enough to get past the guard that was sleeping in a chair facing right in front of this paranormal being. Dead alienoid. Alien or not, death surely doesn't spare anyone. Texas farmers who had lost several of their chickens due to numerous animal attacks decided to lay down a bait to draw out the animal. Upon doing so, they noticed a very unusual looking animal in the fields who took the bait in a manner similar to the attack on the chickens. One of the farmers, either pissed or terrified of this alienoid, fired at it, but it managed to escape. After following the bloody trail closely, the alien animal was later found dead next to a tiny bush after having bled out due to the critical wound.
See him above there, by the trees.
With the proliferation of cameras just about everywhere, more and more weird stuff is captured by the camera's all-seeing lens. From freaky, wild creatures of dark nights to the oddly mythical figures of woods, while others are totally unbelievable. Here's the most disturbing trail cam footage that no one was supposed to see. Disappearing man. Imagine installing a camera to capture some wild moments on a snowy night, but you come across this. A bizarre hunched-over figure with glowing eyes suddenly emerged from the dark and could be seen running to the left side of the ground, and then disappeared instantly. Nowhere. It might have merged into thin air. Was it really a ghoul captured running at midnight, or was it just a hoax? To me, there was something really mysterious, as the dog sitting in the corner could be noticed turning its head in the direction of the running figure. What do you guys think? Extraterrestrial creature. Deer, coyotes, or naughty raccoons. This is all that you expect to see in your trail cam footage. But a trail cam installed in the woods of Australia captured something absolutely terrifying. From behind one of the trees appeared some mysterious lights. However, the zoomed-in footage displayed the mystifying lights were actually the eyes of an odd-shaped creature that was trying to peek directly into the camera. At first, it might look like a kid in a costume, but the weird glowing eyes didn't seem like a humanoid trait. Then, was that something really that we should call an extraterrestrial, or just another unidentified creature? Share your thoughts by commenting below. Monster stalking a moose. This video, posted in August 2018, sent cold chills among internet users, as it displays a strange creature peeking from behind one of the trees in the middle of a haunted forest. The resource person of this clip claimed to witness this monstrous creature many times before that, and called it a rake because it has a human-like appearance and usually attacks people walking alone in the woods. But this time, it looks like the spooky, pale creature has targeted the huge moose, as it was filmed stalking the animal that was busy grazing in that haunted forest. Masked man. The hunters set their cameras to get information about animals they can hunt. However, sometimes their search for a new species could end up in an unexplainable fear. A trail cam footage posted a few months back shows a strange figure coming out of the dense forest. It is really hard to state what that creature might be, but as it walked eerily with its bent legs, and also the face was covered with a strange mask, some people thought it could be a publicity stunt. But everything about this image is terrifying, as we have no idea where this figure came from or why he was wandering on his knees at midnight. Bigfoot under the nest. In September 2016, a trail cam installed somewhere in the woods of Michigan State to film tiny eaglets captured something really spooky. Initially, all went well, as the camera placed right above the nest was filming the adorable bird moments. Then, suddenly, from behind one of the trees below the nest, appeared a black bipedal creature that walked away. However, due to the blurred image, it's hard to identify the creature, but many people stated that it was a Bigfoot, as nothing huge and bulky was ever spotted in that area before. Do you guys also think it was a Bigfoot? Please let us know by commenting below. Peeking alien. Watching this clip will surely prevent you from planning late-night camping, especially in the middle of the spooky forest. While burning a fire to keep the wild critters away from their tents, a group of friends heard some mysterious noise in the dark. Thinking of any forest resident, one of the guys tossed the fire in front of the tree, yet he was not expecting to come across this. A tiny, gray cryptid with pointed fingers was trying to get warmth while hiding behind the tree, and quickly moved back as the man filming it tried to get a closer look. Unfortunately, nothing could be stated exactly about the figure, but to me, it looked like an alien. Weird man in the forest. Let me show you another disturbing clip of the day, as it involves a couple of friends who stumbled upon something really spooky while walking in the forest at night. Standing alone in the middle of the path was a strange guy in white who started to communicate with them.
Ryan?
Is that you?
Is that you?
Yeah, it is.
Prove it?
Prove it?
Yeah, prove it.
Thinking of their lost friend, when one of the guys asked that boy to prove his identity, he suddenly changed his shape and voice and vanished back into the dark, just like a creepy ghoul.
I don't know where this thing is, or when it's gonna...
Although one of the guys tried to chase him, they couldn't get any other clue. And since that time, the truth behind the creepy guy has become an unsolved mystery. Unknown beast in the backyard. Filmed at an unknown location, the camera captured a bizarre figure peeking from behind the wall on the side of the pool. Initially, it looked like a man trying to get inside, but when the footage was zoomed in, it started looking less like a human. In fact, the way it looked around and managed to jump back didn't seem human at all. Many claimed it could be a midnight ghost, while others simply stated that it was nothing but a bear. Well, if any of you know better, do write us in the comment section. Humo crab. While enjoying the bonfire in the middle of the thick woods, a group of friends got the biggest shock of their life when they decided to look for the girl who went away to make a call. Searching around for the girl, they were stunned to find her lying numb in front of a tree, and then suddenly, from behind one of the bushes, a creepy creature jumped out. With multiple limbs attached to a human body, that unidentified being seemed to be a human crab-type creature. Although this clip stopped without any proper ending, these few terrifying minutes are enough to make you think twice the next time you set up a plan for camping. Bigfoot encounter. It's okay to find animals in the woods, but it's definitely not okay to find monstrous creatures right in front of the camera. While chasing a deer to get a closer look, another couple of campers were shocked to find a huge beast behind the trees. At first, they took it as a bear, but it was all until the dark creature stood up. With its dark body and giant features, it looked right at them and tried to get close. Fortunately, they both managed to escape, leaving their tent. In fact, everything behind. Many speculated it to be a huge bear, but according to those guys, it was an actual Bigfoot. Cryptic being. According to an old saying, forests are actually haunted by werewolves and witches that come out at night. But this time, it looks like one of the evil spirits has decided to make an appearance in daytime. Filmed at an unknown location, this video shows a car being driven in the middle of a forest, and suddenly, the driver noticed a strange, small creature standing on the roadside. Apparently, it looked like a small animal, but upon getting closer, it turned out to be a short, faceless figure who was busy in some kind of sinister activity, but suddenly ran back after watching a car approaching it. Is it really a cryptic being, or just a hoax? Any ideas? Sasquatch spotted in Russia. This short clip of just 16 seconds includes the craziest moment no one could have ever seen. Recorded by an unknown source somewhere in Russia in 2011, this clip shows a closer look of the most discussed mythical beast. A huge, hairy body and long arms. It really looked like a real Sasquatch. No more details could be stated about the creature, as the guy filming it seemed to be scared of the thing. Yet the perfect humanoid walk pointed toward the legendary Sasquatch, as it could be seen quickly walking through the woods after realizing it was being filmed. Unidentified hairy monster. Exploring the woods to learn more about the forest, two young students felt some movements behind the trees. Looking deeper into the bushes, they came across an unidentified creature that initially looked like a wild critter that was hiding beneath the woods, yet suddenly stood up and stared at the curious visitors. Terrifying is all that can be said about this footage, because nothing much can be explained about the creature, as they had to escape hurriedly after watching the beast heading toward them. Eerie giant figure. Humanoid walk, giant body, and long, heavy arms. Another legendary creature of all time was filmed strolling fearlessly on snowy ground. The video, after being posted, grabbed a lot of attention from internet users, as many took it as an alleged Sasquatch sighting. But since the video wasn't very clear, a few claimed it was actually a guy struggling to hike on the hill covered with snow, and was misunderstood for his strange walk. Really a Sasquatch, or just a misunderstanding? Any guesses from your side? Spooky werewolf. Have you ever been into the woods alone? Well, if not, then you must hold your breath, as this short clip will definitely stop you from doing so. Filmed at an undisclosed location, this footage shows a guy trying to get close to an animal to whom he thought was a grizzly bear. Right at that moment, the beast started running toward him, and the video suddenly ended there, leaving everyone questioning about the beast. There is a possibility of a werewolf sighting, as upon looking at the huge appearance, the creature didn't seem like a bear to me. Creepy skinwalker. It's not always Bigfoot lurking from behind one of the trees, but sometimes there are many other odd beings waiting for us. A couple, while driving in the middle of a forest, decided to stop their car to investigate the animal making weird noises. However, they were left baffled after watching this. From behind one of the bushes, a creepy figure emerged and crossed the bushy path by crawling on its bent legs. Although it was not visible due to the dark, due to its pale, skinny body, it was assumed to be a skinwalker that mostly came out at night to spook the passerby. Mysterious black shadow. Rake crawling in woods. A bizarre trail cam footage quickly went viral as it claimed to show an eerie figure in the middle of the woods. Recorded somewhere in an unrevealed place, the video took a normal start, but then the actual oddity entered the frame from the left side. Crawling on all its fours was an eerie creature that could be seen rambling through the woods, just like a huge, bulky animal. However, the way it stopped and looked around didn't match any animal's traits. Since the footage was recorded from a distance, it's hard to say exactly what could be the creature, but many are speculating it to be the horrific, urban, legendary Rake. Frozen in park. sole left wild boar. This footage might be the rarest one, as it literally shows the most unbelievable and disturbing moment ever recorded. It started with a wild boar strolling normally, and this is exactly what trail cams are meant to record. But within a few seconds, the whole scene changed as the animal falls on the ground and struggled hard to stand back up. And all of a sudden, its body started shivering, and it could be seen shaking its legs, followed by a plume of black smoke that mysteriously arose from its body. And then it became still, although it could be noticed trying to breathe. According to the owner of this footage, the animal was found dead in its place. Headless moose. Another disturbing piece of footage shows a strange animal that was not only weird and frightening, but also very fast. Near a railway track in the middle of the wilderness, a guy was scared to death after watching a strange moose running wildly without any head on its huge body. Since the video is quite blurry, it's difficult to say whether it was an actual headless animal or just a moose running with its head to one side. Many think it's just an edited clip, while others claim it to be an actual headless moose that was running away from its hunters. What do you guys believe? Arrow stuck in deer's head. Survival of an impaired one in the wilderness is actually very challenging, yet this next clip shows an unfazed deer with an arrow sticking out of its head that was observed doing really well for more than 3 years. The deer was named Carrot after it was spotted lurking in the backyard of a house in Canada and was believed to be a miraculous survivor. Fortunately, the distressing clips of the poor animal hit the internet, and it was soon rescued by wildlife authorities. Two-headed deer.
Two-headed deer.
Have we got you puzzled? At first, I also got confused after watching this bizarre two-headed deer. Look how perfectly both of the heads moved in the same direction. Was this actually a two-headed deer, or just another manipulated clip? Well, after watching this clip more carefully, I reached to a conclusion that those were actually two animals standing in a typical posture, which made them look like one animal with two heads. As the video proceeded, one of the heads could be seen mystically disappearing from the scene, leaving just one complete deer behind. What do you guys say? Deer with a crooked neck. Here we have another strange deer, but this time it was not any optical illusion. But in fact, this deer was actually spotted in an awkward situation, as its head was hanging bizarrely to one side. Though it was observed perfectly walking through the dense bushes, it was unable to lift its head or to move it around. Biologists suspected that it might have broken its spine at a very young age, but somehow managed to survive with its major disability, and was spotted strolling several times in St. Mary's. People called it a crooked-necked deer that was also believed to be a mother of cute little fawns. Living mammoth. Show me something more disturbing than this one. Long, curved tusks, a huge trunk, a fatty hump on a massive woolly body. All these features belong to a living mammoth that was filmed in 1948 in Russia. The great animal from the prehistoric times was actually seen roaming almost 60 years back and was captured during World War II by a German photographer. Although it was quite terrifying to see a living mammoth from the past, many claimed it to be a fake one, while a few are still trying to figure it out. Attacked by wolves. This trail cam footage opens with an adorable moose mother wandering around along with its young calf. Initially, all went well, as the mother moose could be seen protecting its young calf from the wolf. But then suddenly, the video took a horrific turn when the mother turned back and, instead of the wolf, it accidentally kicked its calf in the head. Seeing the calf on the ground, another hungry wolf jumped in to get a bite of the fallen prey. Yet the moose mother kept on protecting its calf from the attacking wolves. However, it's impossible to say whether she was able to protect her young ones or not, as all of the animals went out of sight. Man stalked by lion. Encountering something like this in the woods is definitely a disturbing thing you'll never want to experience. The guy in the image looked excited as he could be seen enjoying his hunt of the day, a giant deer. And behind him is a ferocious predator that was captured stalking the hunter. Unfortunately, we could only get this single image, and I'm not sure if the lion was actually waiting for the deer, or its real target was the hunter. However, later this guy posted another video in which the same lion was observed chasing. This terrifying image was captured by a trail camera, showing a creepy humanoid creature climbing a tree with all 4 of its limbs. The exact location of this image is unknown, but some people claimed it to be captured from the deep Amazon forest, where this guy is believed to be the last remaining member of an isolated tribe in the Brazilian Amazon, and is known as the Man of the Hole. However, according to some, this was actually an ape-like creature that was seen hanging on the trees during the Darrow expedition in 1977. Well, if any of you knows more about it, please let us know by commenting below. Thank you very much for watching the video. Do like and share it with your friends. Subscribe to the channel and hit the bell icon to not miss any of the upcoming amazing videos. Thank you once again.
From haunting creatures residing under your bed to giant beasts of our worldly domain, we have a plethora of exciting, intriguing, and captivating videos that would cure your daily cravings of spooky, unresolved mysteries. So, grab your popcorn and come along on this roller coaster journey. Fear beneath the sheets. Imagine sleeping peacefully in your bed, and a strange intruder disturbs you from your sleep, leaving you baffled and haunted for the rest of your life. A quiet room filled with pitch-black darkness, a type of darkness that would add more silence to an already strange atmosphere. The video began with a man waking up to some unusual sounds from his deep sleep. Removing his blankets haphazardly, he began gawking at different corners of his room, and as soon as he panned away to his right, an obnoxious creature came to his welcome. This creature had the most terrifying appearance. A lurking shadow of death, a pitch-black darkness with satanic eyes, was gawking at that helpless man while slowly disappearing into the night, its sharp, pointed claws leaving imprints of its presence. Seeing this vicious scene of terror and horror, the man jumped out from his bed, breathing heavily as he attempted to run away from the room. A sight of terror that might have made you guys jump out of your beds, too. Strange imposter in the woods. Deep in the woods, a family found themselves in a strange situation when their usually friendly dog started barking intensely in the middle of the night. A deafening silence filled with intense howling made the house owners a little worried. They ran towards their front door to check the severity of the matter with torches in their hand. Meanwhile, the dog was still barking at the woods as if he had seen something peculiar and haunted. The couple began pointing their torchlight at the dense forest in front of their house. And to their amazement, they found small, glowing eyes roaming in the thick forest at this hour.
Oh, there's a bunch of them. Where are they? They're blinking, y'all.
There's lots out there.
Are those coyotes?
I don't know, but they're there.
Speculations began haunting them, as it was unusual to discover such an enigmatic creature in the middle of the night. However, to put an end to their worry, the creature revealed itself, and you won't believe it, guys, it was nothing but a big wild cow roaming and grazing through the woods. A burst of laughter broke in, and they heaved a sigh of relief as this poor creature could cause no harm to anyone.
Oh my God, y'all.
There's something just
it's
yeah, it's a cow. That's why his head was going up and down.
A wicked child. A ghost hunter set out on his other deadly venture. He chose a dilapidated house, torn and ruined brutally throughout its surroundings. His adventure began filming the wreckage of that seemingly haunted place. The air was filled with untamed voices, howls of wild beasts, and deadly shrieks of unannounced creatures, all turning into a satanic clamor. With his torchlight, he began hunting for its prized possession, and in no time his camera caught something unruly, something vicious. It was a haunted figure that almost looked like a child with demonic ears. With its long hair, that set behind its elf-like ears, the eerie creature stood still for a while, unveiling his demonic presence in front of the camera, and then quickly hid behind the wreckage. The hunter followed him around the house, but all in vain. It looked as if the haunted creature wasn't shy of the camera, and it only wanted to cast his satanic presence over the hunter. Legendary sea monster. A beautiful lake situated in between the frosty mountains, a breathtaking sight, and indeed a perfect travel destination spot. But can you believe that this lake might be home to fantasy creatures and spooky monsters? It all began when a man started to record this alluring scenery in search of a legendary creature that only had its existence limited to books. However, some had claimed that they had witnessed that sea-dwelling beast. After some time, unruly ripples close to the shore caught his attention. The man diverted his lens toward that disturbance in the glistening water. He zoomed over a sizable black tail, making all those ripples in the lake. The man claimed it to be the caudal fin of the legendary kraken. According to the sources, the kraken is a sea monster of humongous stature, and those black flaps documented in the video looked nothing like the kraken's huge fins. Thus, it would not be appropriate to call it a kraken sighting, as it could be a giant or some other codfish swimming across the lake.
That puddle. What the hell's that? What the hell's that? There's something in the water, guys. Can you guys see that?
Bigfoot encounter. An adventurous hiking venture turned into an eye-opening discovery that raised many speculations about the presence of this giant forest beast. The video began with a man recording the captivating nature of a dense forest, laden with towering trees, and its floor covered with thickly grown moss, almost giving it a carpeted appearance. Among this enchanting scenery, a black shadow peeked into the frame. It had a huge stature, like a giant covered in thick fur and long hair all over its body. The giant gradually walked toward the cameraman with all its glory and magnificence, defying the tallness of everything in front of it. With a sudden glance into the camera lens, the Bigfoot walked away from the cameraman, ignoring his invasion in its territory completely. However, this video doesn't provide any solid evidence to Bigfoot's presence, and these wild and unruly creatures won't spare human invasions in their habitat. Glaring eyes. Trail cam footage has been making headlines. However, the spotlight isn't on the animal captured by it, but on an enigmatic presence that the unblinking lens inadvertently revealed. In the vast fields of the forest, amidst the lurking darkness, an innocent deer could be seen grazing peacefully through the meadows. I know nothing exciting, but here comes the spooky part. If you focus on the left side of the footage, you'll see two large glowing eyes glaring through the darkness of the forest. These giant eyes kept revealing themselves for quite a few minutes, and then they suddenly disappeared into the darkness. This strange footage raised many questions about the creature hiding behind woods. Some claimed it to be Bigfoot's glowing eyes, whereas some pointed it as a forest curse dwelling through the fields. What do you guys think? Do let us know about your theories. A waddling creature. A driver recording his journey through the wilderness of the forest came across something peculiar and strange on his way. Through the bumpy road, in the middle of the forest, a moving object at the side of the road playing with the puddle caught the driver's attention from afar. Hence, on coming close to that creature, the driver zoomed in, and as soon as it began driving across it, this dark-colored creature swiftly sprinted into the woods with a dangling gait. Unaware of the nature of this peculiar animal, the driver kept recording it while driving past it. Now, coming to the question of the nature of this wild animal, if you look closely at it, you'd find white stripes across it, making it look like a wild skunk and not an eerie creature. The skunk, upon seeing the driver, ran into the woods as they are protective of their surroundings. Cursed photographs. Imagine taking pictures while hiking through a thick forest only to find a haunted spirit peeking through your photographs. Scary, isn't it? A similar series of events happened with a couple when they were enjoying their hiking venture in the mountain forest, unaware of the presence of spooky spirits wandering around. Upon looking through their camera roll, they were astonished to spot a strange presence behind them. At first, it seemed like a bird, captured while taking its flight, but as they zoomed over, a wave of fear ran across their body as there was a strange figure with a clear face peeking from the trees. A demonic presence, a satanic face trying to get in the frame of a happy couple-like curse. The couple ran checks over this footage. However, this case remained unresolved as the authorities were unable to locate any evidence regarding this strange encounter. Ominous nightmare. When your eyes suddenly open in the middle of the night, a normal person would usually encounter darkness and peaceful silence surrounding him, wouldn't he? But there are some people who would come across cursed creatures with their dreadful sight and voices haunting the surroundings if their eyes accidentally opened at a specific time, or, you can say, 3 a.m. In this video, a girl encounters a goat coming from behind the curtain. At first glance, it appears normal, but as the goat opens its mouth, waves of horrific sound reach the eardrums, making one hold his ear. The girl shifts her camera towards the clock, showing the dreadful time of the day, 3 a.m. In the meantime, the goat's shrieking voice, accompanied by the black tentacles coming out of its mouth and glowing eyes, can be seen clearly in the darkness of the night. This scene is truly terrifying for one sight, but the vlogger seems accustomed to this behavior of the goat and calmly closes the door on the goat, completely shutting it out of the room. The creature of Romania. This peculiar video began with a man recording himself while talking about the unusual sighting that occurred in the Romanian zoo. The man emphasized that such a creature had never been sighted anywhere in the world. However, it is enchained here at the Romanian zoo constraints. After the initial warning, the man entered a dark hall filled with other tourists and visitors. Among these usual voices, strange howls and cries were heard, which kept getting louder as the man moved further into the hall. At last, in the end, a colossal cage was seen with a dwarf-like creature with a distorted face and features, amusing the curious tourists with his unusual appearance and distinct howls. Wild intruder. Who would have imagined that, when you clocked out of your job, the next time you see your workplace, it would be in the coverage of a news channel portraying a horrific scene of a wild bear entering your workplace? It is a heinous sight, isn't it? That exact scene was recorded in the camera footage of Aspen Resort, where a wild bear was wandering around in the resort's kitchen. It is an abominable situation one must never encounter, but sometimes luck is not on your side. This luck ran short on the night guard of Aspen Resort, where he met the rile-up bear after hearing the rustle and bustle in the kitchen. At first, the security didn't come face-to-face with the bear, but as he slowly inspected further into the blind spot of camera footage, the wild bear flung out his sharp claws toward the poor security guard and tossed the poor guy at a feet distance, which probably was best as he sprung out of the door, while the bear also finds this opportunity to escape from that place. A heroic day. A daunting encounter took place on the streets of British Columbia, Canada, where a bear came in a face-to-face meeting with a little boy strolling along with his cycle in front of his front door. Upon seeing the boy, the bear walked gradually toward him in his quest to sniff the young lad. However, in this spine-tingling situation, the boy didn't lose his calm. Instead, he kept still and stared at the bear as he sprinted towards him. When there were only a few inches left between the kid and the bear, a man from behind plunged into the scene like an angel from the sky. With his arm wide open, he began hushing away the bear. Luckily, this trick worked, and the bear ran towards the car and hid behind it. The man still kept looking for the bear in an attempt to scare him away, and his efforts bore fruit as the bear quickly walked away from the neighborhood. Overall, it was an act of courage by both. The young boy kept his nerves under control, while the man courageously took charge of the situation and saved the day. Parental guardians. The forest is home to hundreds of mysterious creatures, and one such creature caught our attention while cradling its baby through a thick jungle. A spooky encounter occurred when a hiker recorded an inhumane beast wandering through the woods. A giant beast, draped in a dark attire from head to toe with all its magnificence, peeped through a huge rock. A bit cautious about his surroundings, it quickly passed through the field while glancing meekly at the camera lens. It was strange for such a wild beast to be observant about his surroundings, almost as if he was protective of something. Soon, this enigma unveiled itself when the gorilla-like creature came out of the bushes, holding its baby and then again disappearing into the woods. This incident reflects light upon the protective nature of a parent, despite its dreadful instincts and the presence of such enigmatic creatures in our worldly domain. Fields of fear? On a dreadful night, full of terror and deafening silence, in the middle of vast fields, a man found himself in a demonic ritual. It all began with a man wandering through vast fields with his torchlight, searching for his two faithful dogs. Following the howls of his dogs, he finally found one of his dogs barking towards a satanic creature, a demon with the head of a goat, cradling his numb dog and walking away. The moment he shifted his attention from his barking dog to that satanic figure, his other dog was taken into possession by another satanic creature, leaving the man breathing heavily in this moment of terror and angst. Skinwalker Ghost. The car dash cam footage shows a white figure crossing the road, moving with a strange, almost animalistic gait. As it comes closer to the car, the figure's true nature becomes clear. It's a skinwalker. The skinwalker's skin is matted and unkempt, and its limbs are too long and thin to be human. As the car drives away, the skinwalker disappears into the darkness. The driver is left feeling shaken and unsure of what they just witnessed. Skinwalkers are said to be powerful and dangerous shapeshifters in Navajo culture, able to take on the form of any animal they desire. Crossing paths with one is considered a bad omen, and many people believe that seeing a skinwalker can bring misfortune or death. The vicious rattlesnake. From the deadliest creatures of the outer realm to the wild, slithering animals of our domain, the world is full of vicious encounters. Just like in this video, a man showcases the true nature of a rattlesnake. With its intense buzzing sounds, the rattlesnake was generating a sense of fear in its surroundings. Unafraid of the vicious trap of the rattlesnake, the man kept recording the dreadful species. Its glaring eyes remained fixated on the intrusive man. The apparent wrath in his cold eyes was enough to devour any dwelling prey, and its continuous rattling tail was enough to haunt nearby creatures. Aware of the lurking danger, the daring man, being cautious of actions, kept recording this reptile as he was fascinated by its constant rattles. Satan in the bushes. In the vast fields far from human neighborhoods, and in the close vicinity of the dense forest, a man began recording some strange movements. Behind the withered bushes around a tall electricity tower, something peculiar and a shadowy figure appeared. As the observer recorded the video from afar, hence only it was impossible to gauge the size of this eerie creature. Only two sharp horns with pointed round tips are visible in the video, giving it the appearance of some bull or a mountain goat. Nonetheless, the creature looked creepy in its attire, almost like a cursed satanic goat peeking through the bushes. Creepy settlement under the bridge. In this blurred video of an underbridge settlement surrounded by thick-grown vines and wild bushes, an observer witnessed something weird. To find out the cause of this unusual activity, the man hops on a journey to find out the truth about these vague movements. As soon as he went under the bridge, heaps of wild twigs and branches welcomed him, all hiding the entrance of a long bridge, giving it an appearance of ambush to protect the unknown. The man was ready to make his first step into that horrid place, but soon rushed home because something supernatural had made him lose control. As soon as he saw that apparition, he was caught off guard and stumbled on his shaking steps. But within a second, he gathered courage and ran away. Living footballs. Have you ever seen a giant rolling ball swaying across the woods? Can you believe that these giant balls are alive? They are these fascinating creatures that can compact themselves in a ball to travel greater distances. It is a rare sight to witness armadillos in their unpacked form. However, a trail cam was successful enough to capture these creatures in its memory. Amidst the dark jungles, surrounded by sky-high trees, a cute little animal gradually marches forward with a slow gait in open fields. This adorable species only appeared briefly with its tiny feet tiptoeing through the grassy areas and then disappeared into the woods. Vicious werewolf. A trail cam recording captures a spine-chilling moment of a werewolf lurking behind the bushes. The eerie footage shows the creature's silhouette pacing back and forth before it suddenly stops and looks directly at the camera. Its glowing eyes reflect the light from the camera, and it seems as if the werewolf was aware of its presence being recorded. The creature's movements are swift and sudden, and after a few minutes it becomes agitated and disturbs the camera, causing the recording to end abruptly. This unsettling footage will leave viewers with goosebumps and questioning the existence of these mythical creatures. Lion's Feast. Recorded by a helpless tourist, this video is enough to send shivers down your spine as you question the unpredictability of a human's mortal being. Who could have thought that a fun adventure at a safari park could turn into a life-ending trauma, a horrific incident that could devour your loved ones' lives? The video began with an older man strolling through the open safari fields and into the lion's den. A daring move, isn't it? And this tiny mistake cost that man his life. Triggered by the sudden intrusion into its land, the lion sprinted towards the old man. Unfortunately, the old man, due to his lean body, couldn't keep up pace with the lurking danger. Hence, the lion seized him the moment he was about to step into his safe zone and dragged him away towards his old hiding. There, he devoured him into sizable bites, with cries of help and shrieks of helplessness echoing through the safari.
Somebody help, please!
Please get a gun!
Hunting gone wrong. A hunter holding his gun upright, pointing at its aim, was breathing heavily in a dense forest filled with vicious creatures and deadly beasts. With shaking hands, he kept walking towards thick bushes. To end our curiosities, a giant grizzly bear plunged out of the bushes, slowly made its way toward the man, and then hid again behind dense foliage. One must have thought that the hunter could quickly escape this terrible situation had he used his gun correctly. But there's more to the scene as another grizzly bear cub pops from a bush. According to the hunter, there were 3 cubs with their mother bear. Thus, it would have been inhumane for him to shoot her, as the mother was being protective of his kids. An unusual friendship. What is more innocent and purer than the friendship between a human and an animal? It seems like there isn't any. A man gently opens his door to welcome his animal friend with a sweet and comforting voice, calling it Buddy.
Buddy.
To have an evening coffee or beverage at the door pavement with his doe-eyed deer friend. An adorable deer swiftly reacts, comes in the direction of the familiar voice, and enters the old man-lit house where his human friend offers him a snack or two. The doe-eyed deer munches on the snack dearly, and this scene warms one's heart.
What's up, dude?
The purity of this scene is unmatched and unparalleled. Enigmatic encounter in forest. Who doesn't like to stroll in the morning, breathing in the fresh air? This type of exercise is best for relaxing one's mind and removing any negative thoughts. But during this peaceful stroll, suddenly, an eerie presence engulfs this moment of peace. This feeling was felt by an individual peacefully walking on a track surrounded by dense forest. This individual slowly pans out his camera towards the dense forest. This individual sees nothing but plants of different species portraying their colors. But as he shifts his camera in a particular space, at first, it appeared as a blackish shadow. But as the camera zoomed in, two eyes with a blackish hue stared back at it, making this phenomenal encounter a thrilling sight, enough to keep one awake for days. The wild lioness. In the stillness of the jungle, the hunter came with the thought to hunt an elk and mentally prepared himself for all the possible situations, but none prepared him for a sudden encounter with a savage beast. The camera recording began with the hunter getting shocked by the sudden entry of the lioness. He aimed his Glock 27 at the lioness, who was dangerously close to him.
Get back.
The moment the lioness takes one step more, the hunter shoots at it, and the lioness moves backward. The frightened man shot again to scare it out, and surprisingly, it worked because after the second shot, the lioness stared down at the hunter for a while, and then left in the opposite direction while the frightened man shakily lowered the gun. Giraffe meets a baby deer. In the enigmatic embrace of the savannah, a towering giraffe stood sturdy, with its majestic stature casting long shadows, its curious eyes fixated on a delicate sight, a fawn, its lean legs barely able to support its own weight, nestled amongst the bumpy surface of emerald foliage. The mother giraffe is confused by the height difference. It inspects the baby deer, sniffs it, and lowers its neck to wonder how this tiny being can coexist in the same frame as gigantic creatures like us. But as the vehicle approaches, the baby deer runs out of the vicinity of the giraffe. Silent watchers. Amidst the darkness, there lie untamed creatures that wander through the fields unannounced only to curse the species from the real world. In such darkness, a trail camera was set up in the bushes to record the eerie movements throughout the night. A cloak of vivid smog prevailed in front of the lens, adding more terror to an already haunted atmosphere. A minor disturbance soon turned into a major blow when something unknown tried to move the trail cam, and it tumbled down suddenly in an isolated forest. What possibly could have done that? A gust of wind or a horrid creature? Let us know in the comments. Yahoos. Most of you must have heard about the strange creatures called Yahoos mentioned in the Gulliver Travels, but who could have thought that these creatures would jump out of the fantasy world into our worldly realm? For instance, in this video, a small, human-like creature is seen hopping through the woods, cautious about its perilous surroundings. Having no similarity to human dwarfs, due to his distinct head and long pointed ears, this creature holds a distinct uniqueness. Draped in dried leaves, this eerie being paved its way in front of the camera, only to disappear in a swift second. However, this video isn't enough to provide a solid testament to its presence, as it could be an AI-generated animation. Jamaican mermaid. Do you believe in mermaids? If not, then this video will baffle you out of your wits as it captures one of the most wanted enchanted creatures of the fantasy world. It all began when two men were exploring through a river surrounded by thick mangroves in Jamaica. They were casually gossiping around, capturing the essence of nature, recording the glistening water of the river. And then something took them by surprise. A peculiar thing was hiding behind a giant rock, and as soon as they shifted their camera toward it took a sudden dive into the river. The camera kept recording these unusual movements through the shallow, and suddenly the creature plunged out of the river, revealing its lustrous hair. This incident terrified them to their core, and they ran away without having the proper footage of the Jamaican mermaid. Alligator ambush. Notorious for its lethal death rolls, a giant alligator was spotted by the authorities in some water park, wandering through the fields unattended. 2 men were sent by the authorities to handle this savage beast. They tried to capture it by blindfolding his eyes using a white cloth. This scheme didn't go according to the plan, and the man who was all set to grab his tail from behind fell into the alligator's trap. The moment he tried to have hold of his tail, the alligator snapped at him, grabbed him by his shirt, and bit his hand. Though the grip was loose, the man managed to escape the wrath of this unruly beast. Skinwalkers. Imagine vlogging deep in the woods on a foggy day only to gain the attention of a vicious, spooky creature. The video began with a boy talking about an excellent hiding spot, or a base that he made with his cousin.
I just wanted to show you guys my cool base that I made a while ago with my cousin.
He mentioned all the things surrounding his base camp, the fencing, and the unusual chair placements, not going to lie. The children seemed quite happy about his small hiding in the forest. Suddenly, while he was busy describing his base camp, he heard a strange sound. The camera quickly shifted towards the abandoned woods. At first, the boy thought it was some wild cow who lost his way, but within a few seconds, he was astonished to witness a white, slender creature running towards him at full speed. However, the boy managed to escape from this daring encounter.
Oh, frick!
Halloween nightmares. Let us dive back into spooky roadside incidents where spirits haunt you out of your wits and fear grabs you by your collar, leaving you in inexplicable situations. One such roadside incident occurred when a man was driving through a quiet road in the dark, and upon driving he was met by an eerie creature on the side of it. To our astonishment, a very visible man came out of nowhere. He had the body of a man, but his face seemed distorted or burnt. In general, he had a very scary appearance, and trust me guys, this wasn't the only thing spooky about him. As soon as the driver moved past him, he started following the car almost like a cursed spirit. However, this can also be a Halloween prank. What do you guys think? Night falls. Night, a time brimmed with starry sky and dreamy world, but at the same time, it's full of terrors. A breeding time for savage creatures, an awakening of creepy spirits that circles throughout the sphere. Such a spooky creature was caught in the backyard of a house where 2 lads were having drinks and conversing casually, but suddenly one of them noticed a strange presence. An enigmatic creature raised from the darkness with its vast, slender, bony legs that could easily cover more than a meter per step. As soon as this creature came into clear sight, the 2 individuals sprung out of their chair, throwing their beer in utter terror and fright. However, this inhumane creature didn't care about the sudden outburst and sprinted away from them. Eyes of the unknown. In the wilderness of an abandoned forest, a young man set out on an adventurous journey to explore the mystique nature of the enchanted jungle. Within a few seconds, he was captivated by an enthralling animal. As the camera focused onto that creature, it became still moment in a relatively sparse forest. At first glance, it appeared like an animal was protruding from the fallen log, but as it zoomed in, it seemed like a whitewashed skull with holes dogged in it. These holes appear to be black orbs of something entirely inhumane, looking dead straight into the camera. This video raised speculations about the credibility of such mystique creatures in our natural world. Bigfoot's menace. Mythical creatures are usually imagined as symbols, guardians, and breathtaking figures in folklore. But among this visual splendor, there are other creatures so hideous and horrific that one wants to run away as far as possible. In the dimly lit security footage, an astonishing and creepy scene unfolds, where a figure in the rear view resembling the legendary Bigfoot can be seen throwing a heavy rock onto the nearby skunk, probably unaware of the terrific presence near him. The stone arcs through the air, narrowly missing its target. Startled by the sudden attack, the skunk darts away quickly. The footage captures a truly extraordinary moment, offering a horrific glimpse of such a creature. The forest secret. In a quiet and peaceful forest, far down from the noise and rush of people, a secret problem was affecting the safety of some hens living there. Being dangerous was sneaking in the dark, putting the hens at danger. The forest had always been a safe place for these birds, but one by one they were fading without anyone knowing why. To fence the hens, someone who looked out about them decided to take action. They set up a clever trap in the resort of catching the mysterious beast responsible for the hens' losses. they placed delicious grains and seeds inside the trap to attract the unknown violator. To catch this mysterious troublemaker in the act, the smart person initiated small alert cameras each around the forest. These little cameras were ready to record any wrongdoing by the offender. The forest now turned into a platform, with the trap and cameras acting as tools to bring justice. The charge to cover the hens had begun, and the entire forest was eager to break the enigma that had been bothering it. Tara's wildlife. Once upon a time, in a wild and lush forest, there lived an animal named Tara. Tara was a furry and nimble beast with a long tail. Tara was a true forest discoverer. With sharp claws and keen senses, it could climb trees and run through the green with ease. Tara's life in the wildlife was full of adventures. It would hunt for delicious treats like rodents and fruits, always on the lookout for an appetizing mess. Occasionally, it would indeed swim in the clear canals to catch fish. Tara had a family too. They would play together, chase each other through the trees, and educate the immature Taras the ways of the forest. Their home was a cozy den hidden amidst the trees, safe from utmost wolves. Tara's wildlife world was a thrilling and beautiful place, full of surprises, where it thrived as a clever and curious animal, a true master of the forest. The mysterious encounter. Once upon a time, there was a man who decided to set up a special camera deep in the quiet, mysterious forest. His plan was to capture movie of the wild creatures that wandered the forest, hoping to see being amazing. The first picture he took flashed a beautiful deer, its gentle eyes looking right at the camera. The man was thrilled with his first shot, allowing he'd succeeded in his operation. But when he checked the other picture, his excitement turned to fear. Rather of a wild creature, the photograph revealed being creepy and unsettling. It looked like a creepy, shadowy figure of a man, or perhaps indeed a police officer wandering in the timber. The man could not believe his eyes, and a tremble ran down his spine. The forest, once a place of wonder, now held a secret that transferred chills down his spine, and he knew he'd stumbled upon being far more mysterious than he ever imagined. The mysterious white ball. One dark and quiet night, a trail camera placed in front of a house managed to catch existent, truly mysterious. The camera's lens captured a strange, glowing white ball floating through the night sky. It moved with a creepy grace, nearly like a ghostly sphere. The sight was both alluring and puzzling, leaving the curious homeowner and anyone who saw the footage wondering about its origin and purpose. As the footage played out, it appeared as though the spiritual ball was on its own secret trip, gliding through the air in a way that defied explanation. The night's blanket added an air of secret, making it look truly more paranormal. Could it have been a slapdash balloon, a rare natural miracle, or being beyond our understanding? The enigmatic ball's appearance left the spectators with a sense of wonder and a touch of confusion as they pondered the secrets of the night sky. The nightly search for Mothman. On a dark and spooky night, a group of courageous investigators set out on a thrilling adventure to find the mysterious beast known as Mothman. Armed with flashlights and a sense of curiosity, they ventured into the creepy forest, guided only by the faint light of the moon. As they shoveled deeper into the dark, their hearts pounded with both excitement and fear. Every rustling flake and hooting owl transferred shakes down their spines, but their determination held them concerned. They participated tales of Mothman's creepy scrapes, which only fueled their search. Yet the slippery Mothman remained one step ahead, playing a clever game of hide and seek. The investigators chased after flashcasts and creepy sounds, but each time, Mothman sounded to disappear into the night.
What was that? I heard something. What was that? I heard something.
The night's adventure, full of expectation and suspension, left the investigators with a deeper puzzle to break, realizing that some secrets are best left to the imagination, hidden in the deep discipline of the night.
You're lighting it up like the 4th of July. Right.
Forest fight. As the chopper camera drifted above the thick forest, it stumbled upon a weird and unsettling scene. The lens revealed a group of beings carrying strangely, moving through the trees as though they were being watched. The atmosphere was tense, and a feeling of fear gripped the air. Out of the blue, one of the individualities pulled out a defense and fired a shot. The blaring sound shattered the stillness of the forest land, transferring chills down the spine. It was as if a suspensor movie had come to life. The chopper camera captured this unforeseen turn of events, making the observer feel as if they were right there, witnessing the chilly scene firsthand. The question that dallied in the air was, who were these mysterious people, and why were they in the timber? The movie, such like drama unfolding before the lens, left an unforgettable mark on those who saw it, reminding them of the creepy mystifications that nature can hide. The bear encounter. Once upon a time, there was a man who had a big drilling machine. He wanted to dig a deep hole in the ground. He allowed it was a fine day for drilling, so he started up the machine. The machine roared to life and he began drilling into the earth. But just when he allowed effects were going well, being sudden occurred. Out of nowhere, a huge black bear surfaced from beneath the ground. The man was hugely surprised and afraid. The bear had been resting there, and the drilling had woken it up. The bear's big dark eyes goggled at the man and they both set for a moment. The man slowed back down from his noisy machine, giving the bear some space. With a rumble, the bear raved and Slow fell back into the hole it came from. The man learned a precious reading that day: always be careful when you are digging into the earth, as you know who might be resting below. Battle between polar bear and the dog. In the icy forest of the far north, a fierce battle unfolded between a polar bear and a husky doggy. The forest was silent, except for the soft crunch of snow under their paws. The polar bear, massive and white as the snow itself, stood like a frozen mountain, its muscles tightened. On the other side, the husky, with its polished and graceful frame, barked bravely, ready to cover its home. The bear swiped its powerful paw at the husky, but the doggy was quick and danced out of the way. The husky nipped at the bear's heels, trying to keep its distance. It was a formula of survival in the chilly nature. The bear roared, and the husky's bark echoed through the frozen geography. For hours, the two foes circled each other, testing their strength and determination. In the end, the husky's cunning and speed exceeded the bear's brute force. With one final jump, the husky landed a heavy bite on the bear's nose, causing it to retreat with a powerful roar. Brave bears escape. Once upon a time, in a thick, wild forest, there was a big, crabby bear who lived in a comfortable backyard. The bear had grown tired of the small space and feared for the freedom of the forest beyond his barrier. One sunny morning, as Benny was stretching his massive paws, he got an idea. He decided it was time to break free from his backyard confinement. With a heavy cause and a blasting crash, Bear knocked down the barrier that had held him caught for so long. It was a sight to behold as the awkward planks splintered and flew far and wide. Hyperactive and a little bit horrified, Bear made a run for it, charging into the lush green forest. He felt the cool breath on his fur, heard the chittering of the birds, and knew he was eventually home where he belonged. Police captured the mischievous bear. Once upon a time, in a quiet little city, being strange was passing. People woke up to find their cars all knocked up, and it was not because of a big storm. No, there was a bear on the loose, and it sounded to have a thing for cars. The furry troublemaker would come out at night and start poking around, breaking windows, and scratching the clear paint. The townsfolk were getting enough worried about their damaged cars, and they knew they had to do being, so they called the police. The courageous officers set up a plan to catch the bear red-handed. They put out some tempting snacks and left a trail of honey leading to a big net. One night, the bear took the lure, following the appetizing scent straight into the trap. The net fell and the bear was caught. The people cheered for their heroic police, who had eventually put an end to the car-stranding bear's darkness tricks. The city could sleep peacefully formerly more, knowing their cars were safe from the mischievous bear's paw prints. Creepy Krawalis captured on trail cam. In the quiet darkness of the forest, hidden from natural eyes, being mysterious was passing. Trail cameras, like silent guardians, were landing the secrets of the night. these were not ordinary night scenes. They were filled with creepy crawlies that made your skin twinge with conspiracy and shivers. Imagine a moonlit night where black stepped and leaves whispered secrets. Suddenly, the trail camera caught a spider spinning its intricate web, glistering with dew. The creepy silence was broken by the soft fluttering of nightsticks, captured flight in their search for prey. The camera's lens revealed slippery critters like owls, their eyes flashing like burning coals, and a curious raccoon scavenging for night snacks. As the night wore on, the trail camera's observant eye disclosed a world many ever confirmation. It was a spine-clinking trip into the quiet nightly life of the forest, where creepy crawlies took center stage, and the darkness held its secrets nearby. Deer's day and night, wandering. Once upon a time in a big wild forest, there was a graceful deer. This deer, a beautiful animal with soft brown fur and gentle eyes, wandered the woods day and night. Every morning it would wake up to the cheerful songs of chirping birds and the warm beams of the sun. During the day, the deer would explore the lush green forest, nibbling on the sweet, sensitive leaves and sipping from the clear, cool canals that crossed the woods. The deer was always careful, keeping an observance out for the sounds of peril and looking out for its fellow forest familiars. As the sun would set, painting the sky with vibrant colors, the deer's adventure continued. The night brought a different kind of magic to the forest. The deer would foot still, guided by the steely moonlight and the stars' gentle beat, searching for food and sharing secrets with the nightly animals. In this alluring timber, the deer's wandering was an everlasting tale of coherence and wonder, day and night, in the heart of nature's grab. Eerie encounters. One dark and stormy night, our security cameras recorded being truly crazy. As the rain cast the windows, the camera's alert eyes caught a series of unexplained, creepy events that transferred shivers down our spines. First, a mysterious figure appeared in the backyard, masked in dark. It moved like a ghostly wisp, making no sound and leaving no trace. We watched in unbelief as it wandered through the theater, dissolving into thin air. Next, camera picked up unaccountable spheres of light floating through the living room. These immaterial spheres danced and flicked, illustrating the dark corners of the way before dissolving without a trail. To make effects indeed creepier, a strange, unearthly noise sounded through the empty hallway. Transferring the family into a fury. The camera captured their alarmed responses as they goggled at the unnoticeable intruder. These unexplained, weird circumstances continued to hang security footage, leaving us both beat and scarified with no reasonable explanation in sight. Deer's midnight wandering. Once upon a time, in a peaceful country, two curious deer named Daisy and Danny embarked on a moonlit adventure. The estate was covered in darkness, with the only source of light being the steely gleam of the full moon. As they ventured through the open fields, the high field whispered secrets to them, influencing gently in the cool breath. With their nimble legs, they gracefully bounded over small hedges and crawled around sleepy farm creatures. The night was alive with the alluring coherence of justices and the distant scream of an owl. Their eyes sparkled with wonder as they discovered the foamy dew on the field, reflecting the moonlight like 1,000 bitty stars. They nibbled on tender shoots of grass, savoring the darkness snack. The world appeared different at night, mysterious and full of magic. Side by side, the two deer wandered the estates, their hearts filled with the joy of exploring the quiet country under the observant eye of the moon. Huge ape caught on cam. In a deep, mysterious forest far down from the rush and bustle of natural life, a retired secret unfolded. One day, a stir-actuated trail camera captured being extraordinary. The footage was blurry, like trying to see through a misty window, but the sight was unmistakable. A colossal black aper-such-like animal. Its massive form moved gracefully through the thick leafage, its long, dark hair rustling in the wind. The timber sounded to hold its breath as this mysterious being passed by. With each step, it left behind a trail of wonder and admiration, alluring anyone who came off upon the footage. The critter's eyes were hidden in the dark, adding to the conspiracy and riddle enclosing it. This fugitive monster, being on the circumferences of our understanding, torched the imagination of those who watched the footage, leaving them with a sense of wonder. The mysterious coyote. In the serene mountains covered in snow, a camera captured an incredibly rare sight. It was a moment like no other, an uncommon sight of a mysterious creature. Instead of its typical haunting and wandering, a coyote was spotted doing something quite out of the ordinary. It was perched high up in a tree, munching on berries. This unusual scene left everyone astonished and perplexed. After all, coyotes aren't known for climbing trees, and this particular one appeared different, as if it held a secret. The mystery of this unique coyote remains unsolved, leaving everyone curious and longing for answers. How did it manage to climb that tree? That's the burning question on everyone's mind. It was an extremely rare event captured in this clip. The image of this puzzling coyote has stirred immense interest and curiosity. People are eager to understand this mysterious behavior, hoping it might uncover something new and intriguing about these creatures we thought we knew so well. It seems the snow-covered mountains hide more secrets than we could have ever imagined. Creepy humanoid. The home's CCTV captured a mysterious and eerie creature moving like a crab, walking on 4 bent legs across the road. Its appearance was unsettling and strange, leaving viewers puzzled about its identity. The sight was rare and enigmatic, sparking various speculations. Some thought it was a mutant dog, others suspected it to be a creepy alien. This moment filled anyone who saw it with fear and mystery. On the other hand, some strongly believed it resembled a ghoul, a demon-like or monstrous humanoid rooted in pre-Islamic Arabian religion. In modern stories, a ghoul typically refers to an undead humanoid creature that feeds on human flesh, quite horrifying and terrifying. However, the true nature of this cryptic creature remains a creepy mystery, giving chills to the camera operator and those nearby. The secret of this eerie being remains undisclosed, leaving everyone with a lingering sense of unease. Three-eyed creature. The camera caught a mysterious, uneasy clip. This video that was recorded is very cryptic and filled the air with spine-chilling and fear. In this video, the two friends are walking on the woodland. They wanted to test their new trail camera in these woodland. They faced the camera towards a spot where they thought wild animals might be left it overnight. They returned to see what they'd caught on camera. When they come to check what camera had recorded, the friends were very shocked, and everyone who viewed this video also shocked and horrified. There was a creature with 3 glowing eyes hiding in the bushes. It was looking very unfamiliar and scary. That held those operators or viewers in suspense and terrified. The air was truly pervade, enigmatic, and fearful. The 3 eyes of this creature or being was very eerie and frightened. They are glowing and illuminated, as it was a paranormal creature or something else. This was looking very spooky. That was still hidden or unrevealed yet. No one can point out what it was. Mysterious night figure. On a dark and moonless night, a peculiar incident unfolded in front of a home security camera. The camera, a silent observer, recorded a scene that sent chills down the spine. It captured a mysterious sight on the front lawn, enveloped in an air of mystery. From the dark, an unknown figure emerged, moving in an unexpected way. The figure seemed bent over, like a ghostly shadow caught on camera. But what was unsettling was not just the posture. It was the distinct impression of age that clung to this mysterious being. Its stooped back suggested an elderly appearance, as if time had twisted its spine. Oddly, the figure moved urgently, darting about with an unclear purpose, leaving its intentions unknown. The night was draped in mystery, and this strange sight became the talk among concerned residents. Speculation spread, but no one could identify this mysterious apparition or understand why it ventured out into the quiet night. The figure vanished as suddenly as it appeared, leaving behind only unanswered questions. These mysteries continued to haunt the curious minds of those who dared to ponder the unexplained and inexplicable. Killer clown. A strange and unsettling video emerged from a deep forest, puzzling both the operators and viewers. They witnessed a spooky clown figure that made them feel uneasy. This eerie clown was seen walking among the trees, only visible through the night vision of the trail camera. Strangely, it seemed like the clown noticed the hidden camera and confidently moved toward it. The reasons behind this mysterious figure's presence remained unclear. Why would someone be in a forest at night dressed as a clown? Was it a ghostly being, or just someone with an unusual hobby for late-night forest walks? The unexplained nature of this odd encounter left everyone confused. In the midst of the dark forest at midnight, the clown's appearance created a genuinely eerie and unsettling atmosphere, prompting numerous unanswered questions. A bulldog versus mountain lion. In the midst of a rugged mountain, a trail camera captures a predator mercilessly hunting its prey on a quiet, eerie night. Unexpectedly, another fierce predator appears, observing the same scene. Initially, a wild lion is seen devouring its meal until a bulldog meanders into the perilous territory. While the camera focuses on the bulldog exploring the area with confidence, it remains oblivious to the lurking danger of a stronger, more cunning force watching its every move. Like a looming shadow, the eyes of the mountain lion fixate on the unsuspecting bulldog, waiting to pounce on the intruder. In a swift and silent move, the mountain lion leaps towards the bulldog, leaving the video's conclusion uncertain, whether the bulldog escaped or fell prey to the mountain lion's attack. The mysterious creature. The camera recorded something strange in the deep forest. It showed a creature hiding behind a tree, unlike anything anyone had seen. This mysterious being looked like a bird but was really unusual. Its face was spooky, with deep, dark eyes and a skull-like appearance without any hair. It made everyone who saw it feel puzzled and unsure. This creature was so different from anything known in the woods, making everyone suspicious and curious. The sight of this mysterious creature left people wondering and fascinated by its oddness. The forest kept this strange creature a secret, making sure nobody could figure out what it really was. Zombie moose. Deep in the rugged mountains, a camera captured an unusual sight. Two moose, quite different from the ordinary ones, strolled leisurely across a small grassy area. Their presence was mysterious, their movements like a silent dance. Their huge, plate-sized horns stretched out in all directions, giving them an enigmatic look, along with an abnormal growth of skin hanging from their neck that was exceptionally large. These moose were far from the usual. Their graceful, mysterious way of moving raised many questions. Their massive, ancient-looking horns carried an air of fascination. As the recording played on, one couldn't help but wonder about the secrets held by these eerie creatures. They remained an unsolved mystery for anyone who encountered them, waiting to be understood. In that mountainous territory, they stood as guardians of the unknown, leaving a curious impression behind. Demonic ritual. Walking through a dangerous forest on one of the darkest nights ever, the camera caught sight of a scary ritual with evil creatures. The traveler, terrified, had stumbled upon a satanic gathering by mistake. In the video, a huge figure with horns and bloody eyes stared menacingly at the scared traveler who interrupted the ritual. The tension and fear were palpable in the heavy breathing. Soon, the sinister beings noticed the intruder, and everything turned dark, making the ritual disappear suddenly. The demonic figure, along with his unholy followers, surrounded the traveler like a threatening shadow of death and despair. The camera quickly showed the traveler trying to escape. In the background, you could hear the traveler's terrified cries, which were drowned out by the wicked laughter of Satan and his followers, echoing through the night as they captured their victim. A mystic forest serpent. picture wandering through a spooky forest where tall trees reach for the sky but appear faded and dull due to thick, enveloping fog. This fog shrouds the forest, creating an eerie atmosphere, a perfect hideout for scary creatures. Now imagine a scene captured by a camera in the real world. A web-like structure entwines the trees, resembling a colossal rope with spikes of green and yellow. This twisted rope varies in length, turning the forest into an intricate maze. Surprisingly, as the camera focuses on this strange structure, it subtly slithers, slowly coiling around the trees. Amidst eerie noises and darkness, the camera continues to explore the size of this enormous rope, only to be interrupted by a massive snake. A serpent nearly 20 feet long, consuming the life out of those trees. This mysterious creature possesses a skull-like head with deeply hollow eyes, sharp teeth unlike any other anacondas seen before. It appears poised to engulf its prey in one swift motion, leaving no trace behind. Thank you for tuning in. If you found this video entertaining, don't hesitate to show your support by giving it a thumbs up and subscribing to our channel for even more thrilling content. And remember to ring that notification bell to ensure you're always in the loop for our latest updates. Until next time, stay curious and stay tuned.